And lift off here on Racing Post Live this afternoon, along with Betfair, our sponsors, to show you everything racing-wise from Sandown. We pop to Chester. Love a bit of Chester. Another tricky handicap coming your way. We'll solve the puzzle. And, of course, up to York we go on the Knaves Mile. It's one of those weekends, guys, isn't it, where everyone's waiting for the biggest flat show of the year. Royal Ascot on the horizon. Let's talk about that. How do you feel about this weekend? Is this one with the powder dry, or are we going to boost the bank a little bit? That's what we're here to try and help you do. Raucous reaction, of course. This is your live reaction show. Cannot wait to get going. Dave Orton, thrilled to be with you on a balmy day out there. What a weekend we had last weekend. Desert Crown, Emily Upjohn will be talking about that shortly. But let's go down the panel. Don't forget, this is an interactive show, of course. You can see the live market and the graphics will come up for you. If you want to get involved in the chat, do so by liking and subscribing on YouTube. That's our platform channel. You can also watch on Facebook Live. I'm sure you're out there as well. And anything on Twitter. Hashtag RP Live. OK, housekeeping out the way. Let's go down the panel. I'm thrilled to say some interesting chaps join me on the panel. And we're going to need some interesting chaps this afternoon. Danny Archer is with me. Now, you will have seen Danny a couple of weeks ago sitting in this chair while I sipped limoncello in Amalfi Coast. And I have to say, Danny, that was a pleasure. And it was a pleasure watching you do it as well. So you've been with Poste before. Our brother from another mother joins us back. Are we up for it?
Very good, yeah. And Poste, he's kind of the James Milner of the team. Solid, controls things in possession. And,
old.
Yeah, well,
veteran, yeah.
Flagging a living. Absolutely. And you're pressing the buttons today for Betfair?
Yeah, plenty of clubs for me as well from my career.
Oh, so, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, you're fit enough still to play, though, man, aren't you? Come on, let's give him a bit of love.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great to have you in. So you two have worked together for us. It's my debut dance with Danny. We'll learn a bit more about Danny as the show goes on. A young man we've got a lot of time for at the Racing Post. As we have, and I'm sad to say, we've got to go over to Dublin, because this time last week, the main man, the big hitter, was with us himself, Barry Orr.
Hey, how are you?
Very, very well. I'll tell you what, Barry. Listen, this is not me just trying to blow smoke. When you meet Barry in person, I met, like you posted many a time, but he's getting more. I think he's better looking in person. He knows Barry. He had a bit of tan about him. He was glowing. He'd been at Epsom. How are you?
Damning with faint praise, that is.
I don't know about that. It was great to have you in the studio, of course, wasn't it? And you loved it. We could tell that.
Good crack. Yeah, looking forward to getting in for Royal Ascot as well. That'll be fun.
It's happening. It's on. 3 days, of course. We're covering all and each and every race for you pretty much here next week, Tuesday through to Saturday. It's going to be some long week, Barry. You're there the Tuesday and Wednesday, aren't you? You might be bumping into Posty on the Tuesday if you're unlucky.
Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday. Get the best of both worlds, I suppose. Get to go to Royal Ascot for a couple of days and then spend a couple of days with you guys in London. So, yeah, really excited. It's quality racing, isn't it? It's just brilliant. Favourite meeting of the year. You can keep Cheltenham. Ascot wins hands down.
Is that right? Let's open that up to the world. A couple of guys I was doing feature shows with yesterday was saying that as well. Robbie Wilder's like, no, definitely Royal Ascot. Not sure, Danny Archer.
I prefer Cheltenham just, but I think the only thing with Royal Ascot is sort of the build-up. Everything's built up around Cheltenham, isn't it? Whereas I like kind of in the flat season we move, and then all of a sudden Royal Ascot sprung upon you, and
it's a bit done to death, isn't it? The build-up now with Cheltenham, you know. This is not get you started on this, but it's quite refreshing, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to chuck Glorious Goodwood into the mix as well. I love it down there. To be fair, I think that's a brilliant meeting to go to as well.
Yeah, okay. We'll be talking a bit about Epsom. Did you enjoy the classics last weekend?
Yeah, without doubt. I thought they were fantastic. I mean, seeing Stouty back with the absolute top-notch, Graham Rodway as well was incredibly strong about, was brilliant, wasn't it? And he absolutely bolted up. And you'd love to see the Derby won like that by a horse. It could just be the absolute, the cream of his generation and of the racing season,
Yeah, well, let's have a little look back at exactly what happened last Saturday. Favourite at the moment, he's got about 6 lengths to make up. He's cruising Desert Crown. At the moment. This is where he's going to switch him to the outside. Changing to the guard in trouble. Stone Age looks the big player at the moment. Westover coming on the inside. Crown. The stragglers are going. Pispadille's gone out like a light, I'm afraid. The Dolphins. Oh, Desert! Look at Desert Crown! Richard! My son! Come on, Richard! My son! He's got Richard! Absolutely
on,
amazing.
Richard,
Huyemar
man.
second, Westover third, changing in the guards is fourth. Unbelievable scenes here on RPI. They certainly were. There you go. You're back to me now, I'm afraid. Yeah. All eyes on G-Rod there, Barry. It was a nice little... Because he staked his professional reputation. We joked, of course, on Desert Crown. But he got it right.
He did, yeah. And interestingly, all four of us tipped it as well on the panel. So that was a first, I think, in the history of the racing Post Live, that it actually won when all four tipped it. So that was nice. It was nice to cheer home a winner, wasn't it? He'd done it in such great style. And it was like a man who was after getting a stay of execution. That's probably all it is for G-Rod. He'll stake his professional reputation on something else very soon, I'm sure. But it was he escaped the executioner's hatchet for now, and great performance. And it's a horse that he really likes.
Absolutely, quite right. We must move on, though. Yeah, G-Rod will be back with us next week. And on the Friday, myself, Barry in here, and Keith Melrose will be doing the show, so do not miss that. OK, great. Some social interaction coming up from the mighty Gomez, who says, going with Barry's lucky 15 today. Let's crack on, shall we? Due a big win. I've seen you in the chat, Barry. Today's the day.
Yes, we're going to do the lucky 15, please. We're going to put in, there's 2 in York and 2 in Sandown. The first in York is the first race. It's the money back special race on the Betfair Sportsbook as well. If your horse fails to place, you get your cash back as a free bet in the 2 o'clock in York. Thornhall's our horse there, please, Charlie. And staying with York in the 340, Showtime Mahones. We're going to put that in as well. Then we can switch over to Sandown, where we're going to put in Sheer Rock in the 235 and in the 250 in Sandown. It's only 2 places there, but illustrating. Good 2-year-old illustrating was. Hopefully she can place for us there at the very least. So yeah, it's an each way lucky 15. So it's 15 bets in total. We're doing it each way, so it's going to cost us 30 quid. No, not that's a Yankee you've highlighted.
No, sorry,
there.
mate. It's a first mistake of the day.
15 we're doing. No, I'm just making sure that you've got the right one. So underneath lucky 15, take that, and we're doing for a quid each way. Yeah.
Pound,
so it's 6 doubles, 4 trebles, a 4-horse accumulator, and 4 singles as well. So it's 15 bets in total. It's going to cost us 30 quid. So fingers crossed we can get up one of these bets. I think it's a little over $6,000 if they all land for us.
Absolutely, and of course, Wellchild, the charity of choice this month. Okay, right. Is it? I was just thinking, how I mean, we're in June, of course, aren't we? Have we chosen a charity for June?
No, Wellchild, yeah.
Wellchild again. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that feels good, doesn't it? Right, first race. Let's go to Sandown, shall we? Grade 1 track to a Grade 1 jockey. Like one in this?
I had to choose one in this, as in I think it's a really trappy contest, if I'm being honest. I went with Al Haja of Charlie Hills. He won very narrowly at Haydock on his last start on soft ground, which he's American bred. I'm not convinced that would have been entirely to his liking, and it looked very unlikely for a long way up the straight, and he got up and won by a nose from O. Herbert's Reign. Extra furlong should suit him. Stiffer track as well, stiff finishing track like Sandown. So it was a speculative one, Dave. I'm being honest, as in I was, and I see he's drifted a little bit as well, which doesn't really which doesn't really help my enthusiasm for it.
Let's try and get some help from Dublin then. Is there a trade in this race for everyone out there, Barry?
Yeah, I'm on Maplewood here, but it's a massive drifter. It was as short as 9-2 when we first went up with this race. Out to 12 on the exchange now, so 13.5. I'm still going to have to back him at that. It's a knockout price. I just thought that he's got a first-time hoods on today as well. He was slowly away in York over a mile, stayed on well to finish 3rd. That was his first handicap. Adam Kirby on today with the cheek pieces, and good fast ground like it is there in Sandown. I think this horse should go very close. But like I said, the market's speaking really against him. But at 13.5, we're going to have 25 in the win market, please, Charlie. We're going to look at 4 places. In the 4-place market as well, we're going to have 25 quid on in the 4 places. Happy to be a price taker in both markets.
4 places is very attractive for this market.
25 again, mate, in the place market.
Yeah, 25 again. We're going to split our 50 quid stake, 2.16. Happy to be a price taker there, 25 quid to finish in the first 4, which I think he'll do comfortably in the very least, and hopefully he can win the race. I think the good fast ground is the key to him. He won his maiden on that.
Great stuff. So there's Barry's trade. Myself and Danny are agreeing on this. I'll come to Danny in a second as well, just to put a double penalty on you as they go into the gates. I'll call the first race, Danny, all right?
Good, yeah.
We'll ease you in, all right?
Ease
But
me in, yeah.
Danny's not bad at the commentaries, by the way, so I'm delighted he's here today. And you've seen Barry's Lucky 15. If you're new to the show, Barry puts a trade on every single race for charity. You don't have to play in every single race. Safe gambling, Royal Ascot on the horizon, but we'll have some fun this afternoon picking out the winners. Keep the interaction coming in. Maplewood, as the second goes in, bit surprising to see the cheap pieces on the drift.
I can't believe the drift. Really big drift. But no,
how do you feel about that with Godolphin horses? Because they tend to back them.
Exactly. So that would be a concern for me. Usually, I think when the money comes through Godolphin, usually delivers. But I just thought the run last time out at York was perfectly acceptable.
I thought he got a little bit lost in the home straight.
Yeah, and he didn't hit top gear straight away, and I thought it was worth another chance.
Yes, I agree. He's got the draw, hasn't he, installed too, of course. Grounds, Sandown is the kind of track, guys, isn't it, on decent ground where they can get a run as they go into that home straight. They fill their lungs a little bit and kick on. You see front-running winners there quite a bit. But yeah, I'm with Barry, I'm with Danny as well. So good luck wherever you're playing. This is a complete fly in the ointment here, isn't there, with V-Sight, who is, of course, the half-brother to Scope, who's got a right shout in the Ascot Gold Cup next Thursday.
Your horse to follow this year, wasn't it?
Well done, Danny Archie. You watch the show as well, and you listen to the right man, let me tell you. You can come
I'm
back.
taking you on in the Gold Cup, though, with Kyprios, so we'll come to that.
Yeah, I've got a feeling Barry.
But no, been gelded. It could be anything, isn't it? First handicap start of 74.
Money is speaking very favourably about the handicap debutant for Rafe Beckett, Barry.
Yeah, V-side 3.3 now, haven't been matched a lot higher than that. Maplewood 8 to 14, 6-6, too tempting. A couple of non-runners in here, obviously, in Rudimental and Youthful King, but still got the dead 8 for each way punters on the sportsbook.
Some of our regulars are all over this V-site as well. Devo's on it. Chris Timms, good to see you out there, guys. Good luck with this as well. We're just watching one on its toes, Posty, isn't it? What's this?
This
sanitizer.
is sanitizer, and they tried the hood. He looked like he was going to flip over backwards with that on. They've taken it off, and
you can see why Mohammed Tabti's on it. Though, like, good luck, my friend.
Yeah.
You're making your way, and they are off and running. Okay, beautiful sunshine in Esher, and V-Sight a little bit slow out the gates, guys. Looks a bit rusty, doesn't he? And if he's a half brother to a Gold Cup winner, will this be a bit speedy for him? Because they're not hanging around, Danny Archer. We've got a share for the lead at the moment. It looks like Agile, Posty's pick, is just taking it up.
Yeah. Pretty going all right, Posty, so far. Not too keen out in front, too tempting on the outside as well.
Okay.
Very much so, yeah. But he's travelling strongly. But like you say, the favourite was chased away from the stalls, and Sylvester de Souza is really having to try and get him up and travelling into the bridle.
Yeah, and again, this is what they do, isn't it, Barry, at Sandown? They just put on the anchor, and it does make it difficult. They tend to get lit up, the hold-up performers.
Yeah, very much so. 3.8, though, V-side is still your favourite on the exchange. 3.4, Hamaki. That's the one they want to be with in running.
Okay.
Sanitizer looks a bit of a tricky ride, I think, but I think Mohammed Tabdi's just about settled.
He won't be cleaning up here.
Oh, very good. I'm happy with Maplewood. Maplewood's going well, I think.
You like that, Posty, didn't you?
I love that, yeah.
Here they go then around the home turn. Now, you're in front, Posty. You've got to be happy with this. He must have got a bit short on imagination. Actually, it's very, very backable prize, isn't it? Who is it they like? Still V-Sight they like then in running out there. Too tempting. Johnny Portman's horses go as well at Sandown as they do anywhere. Looking for Maplewood. He's got some ground to make up. Nida Luxury was back. Patsy Crosgrove on, of course, for Saeed. V-Sight now warming up. Hamaki, first-time win dot. Haggis, of course, and Mark on. Now V-Sight is going to come on the outside. He's going to take some beating, isn't he? Surely.
Well, he's got to keep picking up from there, but he seems to be coming with a bit of a rattle now. Al Hadji's still leading them inside the
This
final
wins,
furlong.
doesn't it? Surely.
Surely does.
Furlong
Surely
out, yeah,
home
Lonely Exchange, was he gone? Very low indeed. Again, Agile trying to come back a little bit. Maybe he could have gone a bit harder there. Kieran Schumacher, the way he's finishing. Hamaki's running all right. Maple was an absolute stinker. The drift was telling there, wasn't it? Night Luxury's coming on. But this is Gamble landed in the first. And if you're on Scope next week in the Ascot Gold Cup, still the race of the meeting for many out there. There's a massive fillet there because his half-brother Barry has pretty much hosed up.
Yeah, he's Betfair SP at 3.16 was matched up in the 7s and 6s for low numbers. Your runner-up traded at a low of 11 to 4, 3.73 for small money, but no real massive in-running news there. And like you said, Maplewood, the drift was 100% right. He ran no race, got into a bit of a bump and match early in the straight, but never picked up at all, never went to yard.
The only way is up for us Maplewood backers. I think we can say that. And I don't know, there's a lot said, isn't there, about drifters and not to worry about them, especially on Saturdays and things like this. It's a tricky one for punters out there. Again, love to hear from you on this, what you think out there, guys. And I mean, when do you worry when you see a drift? I mean, it's the contentious thing, isn't it? But when I do see Godolphin drifters, it does, because they're just so strong in the market, a lot of the winners.
So certain yards would concern you more.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
like Rafe Beckett. Would that be a big flag up, his being backed or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, of course, Westover, of course, second in the derby last week. Barry was giving me burners after the show because Desert Crown had gone past, and I was like, look at the second, you know. But I think we've seen the head on from that since. Westover looks like a proper St. Leger candidate, doesn't he? Irish derby, yeah.
Well, I think that's what they were mentioning, the more galloping track and that.
Where's Desert Crown go next? Do we know?
I mean...
Would it be Irish derby as well, is what I'm thinking?
No.
Wouldn't be
King
Stouty
George,
that,
no?
Barry, would it?
King George?
King George, probably, Barry. What do you think? Yeah?
King George, I think they said, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So we'll wait and see. Of course, we have to hope that he had a few issues, didn't he, in his early 3-year-old year this year? So hopefully, that's the big thing.
They keep talking about that, don't they? That he was obviously fragile at one stage.
Yeah, they wanted to get another run into him, he said, Stouty, didn't he? Emily Upjohn on the Friday. Anyone back her? Sorry to bring it up if you did.
Yeah.
I was on Concert Hall, but very unlucky in defeat. I think Tuesday it was interesting. Ryan Moore thought she had more to come. At the line, he thought. I do think Emily Upjohn would have gone past.
I wonder how much they have to say that
well.
commercially, don't they? A little
Do you know what though? Again, it's another refresh. They campaign those fillies so aggressively, don't they? Tuesday she ran in both guineas and then turns up there as well, and just reward really.
Strong Oaks, I think we can say, can't we? Strong Oak looked it, didn't he? 2 coming clear of some pretty good horses.
Yeah.
Nashwa still looks a good horse.
Looks like she'll run next week, Emily Upjohn, I think, in the Ribblesdale.
Really?
Confirmed 5 days, yeah. And I think it's quite a weak Ribblesdale, so I can see why they've decided to go.
Only a corn here, aren't you? That's gone over my head. I was a bit surprised by that.
I think there was a press morning yesterday, and I think he confirmed that she came out of the race well. And I think he had a filly who did it before, who went on to win the French Oaks. I can't remember the name of it, but I think that's the plan. She's going to run.
It's a great race for John.
Star of Seville.
Star of Seville in the Bamford colours. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's won. I've been there at Royal Ascot. Like we all have, and seen his fillies flying up on the Ribblesdale. That's on the Thursday, of course, still, isn't it? Who would you back in a match race between Desert Crown and Emily Upjohn?
Do you want to take the hospital pass first, or do you want me to?
It's a bit of a hot potato,
I'd back
Desert Crown.
Oh, we said that in unison, Barry and I.
All day long.
I'll tell you why it's an interesting question, because who's favourite for the Arc at the moment? It's got to be Desert Crown, isn't it, Barry? But she was favourite, wasn't she, straight after the Oaks?
Yeah, she was momentarily. Yeah, 24 hours later, it was Desert Crown. He was put in at 3-1.
The reason why I'm asking is because we get the fillies allowance. He compared her to Gruder, who went on to win the King George with a featherweight on its back, and then what do you look for in an Arc these days, guys, is what I'm asking. There's some strong 4-year-olds out there, aren't there? Barry's Open by Eid goes there, of course. And, I mean, they don't all turn up, unfortunately. That's the problem, isn't it? But do you look for the 3-year-old filly? I tend to.
I think you have to, given some of them have won it in recent years. And I think, you know what the French racing's like. I think she also does have that nice turn of foot as well, even at York when the ground was softer than a lot of people were saying. I think she still went through that well, which should help her at the back end of the year. So for me, I think Desert Crown was the more visually. He's the one who catches your eye more. But I mean, she's top class, but probably for me, Desert Crown as well.
Let's hope they meet. That's what we want to see, guys, isn't it? And of course, we said on the show, this is where the narrative now builds, isn't it? Once the derbies and the Oaks are done, you get these rivalries that come out. So we'll be going to York next for the ladies' race, where they win their weight in champagne. Who's going to pop the corks afterwards? We'll be going there. There's the market. Again, if you're new to the screen, the Exchange is the real market. This is where you see the live trading, your chance to be a layer or a player. Where are you going? Let us know. Let's build up the socials. Great to have you along with us this afternoon. Myself, Dave Orton, Danny Archer, Charlie Poste, and of course Barry Orr from Betfair as well. Should we get the trade out the way, Barry, for the ladies' race?
Yeah, so top anticipation has been really well supported here. 9-2 into 11-4, 3.75. Casilli is 7, 8-6 Throne Hall, Boland Joan 8-8, 9-4 Arctic Fox, 9-8 King of the Midlands, and it's 23 bar. I like Thorn Hall. Backed it a couple of times last year on the show, Dave. He was an ex-Kevin Ryan, and he was rated 102 just 3 runs ago. He's had 3 runs for Archie Watson. He's rated 92 now. If he comes back to any sort of form, I think he could run really, really big race here. So Thorn Hall, we're going to have 50 quid win. We're going to set our own odds here, Charlie. We're going to look to back it at 8.8. So it's currently trading at 8.6. If you just tick it up to 8-8, and 50 quid is our stake.
Yep.
And that'll go into the lay section. We want someone to come in and lay us that bet at 8.8. So we're setting our own odds. This is the money back special race on the sportsbook and exchange. You get your money back as a free bet up to a tenner if your horse fails to finish in the first three here. So it's a great concession for both exchange and sportsbook. Here we're having 50 quid on Throne Hall, but we'll get 10 of that back if he fails to place.
Okay, all right. So have you pressed the keep bet button? Is that I'm hearing you need to do that apparently?
I don't know.
Come on,
No, that's if it goes in running. I'm
okay.
confident that we'll leave that up and we can readjust it if need be.
It's the producers on the
Yeah, I mean, honestly, anyone think that they have no faith
see who
in
we're
me doing
working
this.
with on this show. You don't. I don't think I'm paid quite enough these days. If you're listening out there, Barry. Yeah. Okay. All right. Top anticipation is obviously under Becky Smith for a trainer Harry Eustace, who's been amongst the winners this week. How much do we put emphasis on riders here? Let's get this one out of the way.
I think you have to, really. I know there's the classic, the Serena Brotherton. When I was growing up, it was always Serena Brotherton and Simon Walker when he was riding.
Is that the easiest go-to in racing?
You say that, but I've had plenty of losers back in Simon Walker. But I know when I was younger. But no, I think it is. I think some of these I've actually heard of. No offence, they're meant.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You don't. These are not jockeys that we see every day. This, of course, Anya O'Connor's come over from Ireland.
Yeah,
very talented, as you know, Poste.
Yeah, very talented. I mean, if you want, like Molly Landau, so her father Guy Landau was he amateur? I don't know, but he was back in the day, and she's ridden a couple of winners for Chris Gordon recently. She seems to ride nicely in a. And I mean, from a more left field, right at the bottom, I don't think she'll be winning this, but Alice Stevens.
Who you put up?
Yeah, she finished. She rode the guts of 18 point-to-point winners this season, and she rides well as well.
I mean, to get yours over the line,
exactly.
As we know, you need to be talented.
You've got to mark her up from that perspective, haven't you? So
you've got to third time lucky beating in a point. Just want to remind you. On his only point start. How did the sales go? Because you've been there this week, haven't you? And you've bought some new babies, haven't you?
Yeah, expensive. I mean, everything else in the world is going one way, and bloodstock seems to be going the other.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, the strength of the market for trying to buy quality 3-year-old, with quality racehorses, it doesn't matter whether it's horse in training, yearlings, whatever. I mean, it's incredibly tough at the moment. So, for
those that don't know, you obviously break in horses, don't you, for some big connections, but you do your own as well. You point-to-point trainer now. I think it's more Fran, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The brains behind the operation.
I see she finally put your surname on the race cards.
I know, it took a while, didn't it? Yeah. As you know, I was very relaxed.
She was hanging on willfully. But who do we like in this? Because Throne Hall, who Barry's put up, I must admit I was very tempted with her. Under Brodie Hampson, Archie Watson, of course.
Who is Archie Watson's partner. So whether there is...
Fiancé, I believe.
Fiancé. So whether there's something you can... I mean, should you read things into that maybe, this race, prestigious race, that it's been set up for this? I don't know.
Well, over the years, you've seen big trainers have races in this because the daughters tend to fancy popping the corks. Luca Camani used to do it with Francesca, I remember. I think she won it, Francesca, from memory. But Brodie Hampson, Archie Watson is a team that you would see out of this sphere, isn't it? Which is something often to look for.
Emma Ramsden, would she have won it before?
Whew, good shout, maybe. Yeah, it's that sort of personality, isn't it? You see in it. It will be fun and it will be fast and furious. This race, that's for sure. There's a bit of a wind blowing up there. Just watching William Darby being interviewed, clerk of the course out there at the moment. So that's something to bear in mind. Throne Hall is talented, and we've had Adam Ryan, assistant trainer to Kevin Ryan, who used to have this, as Barry mentioned, and they couldn't quite get the best out of him. I don't think. I don't know why. Cheap pieces on, but this might be set up for him and. I can definitely see that. I went with Arctic Fox, and a bit like you in the first at Sandown. It's a bit token, really, but has got form in this race. Fern O'Brien.
Yeah, obviously Fergal's daughter, and again has ridden a few winners. She's ridden a few winners on the flat. Unfortunately, she would have had her first winner over jumps at Cartmel the other week. I don't know if you saw that, and the weight cloth dropped out turning in, and it made no difference. The horse would have won with the weight cloth, but it was really unfortunate. She gave it a lovely ride round as well. He got it jumping great.
It's amazing how much airtime Cartmel gets on this show. It's ridiculous. Graham Robbo's obsessed with it. He went there.
Have you been or not?
I have been.
It's fantastic. It is a great meeting to go to.
Yeah, and Nat Green, who we know well in this studio, she thinks I'm obsessed with the world's best restaurant up there in Cartmel.
What's it called?
Clume, it's called.
Golden Clume.
Yeah.
They got 3 Michelin stars or something like that.
Something like that. Ridiculous. But it's about 20 courses, so perfect for me.
Expensive as well. Wages must be good here.
Well, They can only get better. I'm seeing lots of nice Ascot naps coming in, guys. The guys are building socials up there. Nick Palfrey says Ottoman Fleet. Just come back to Ascot quickly, Barry. That's thrown me a bit of a curveball. The fact that we're going to get the treat of seeing Emily Upjohn resuming quickly. Where is she on the sportsbook? I'm assuming the Ribblesdale market is up.
Yeah, she was odds on. I think 4 to 5. They put her in at. They dropped her down to the Ribblesdale.
Is that a little
bit interesting? Now, he mentioned it during the week. He did say it, John Cosson.
I can't keep up with everything. Andrew Conn, there he is, comes up and says, this is a good social, guys, because Emily Upjohn, Barry and Bambi, this is one for you. Drifting severely on the exchange for the Ribblesdale, says Andrew.
Let me check the exchange.
Give Barry a second to do that. At 4 to 5, I'm...
It's a weak race, though, honestly.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised. That's what I mean. I thought it might be a bit shorter.
There's one Sea Silk Road, who I think is unbeaten this year.
Of course, for the haggis.
Mystic Wells, I think we were on together for the Oaks trial, but when you look through
4.1 on the exchange, you can back it up.
Ooh, so what? I mean, that's very bizarre, isn't it? Yeah. So, one to watch there. I must admit, I'm surprised that she's turning out quickly. If she turns out, you might want to hold your tickets until Tuesday, then around about 10:30 when the decks come up on the Racing Post.
You'd sure see Mystic Wells in that, wouldn't you? I mean, that was the Lingfield race, wasn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She'd slam that, wouldn't she?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I think Life for Dreams is in there. She slammed her in the Musadora. So if she does end up running, I can't see what beats her. But
what's the banker of the week? Away from Bide.
I really like Kyprios, but I know a lot. You know, I think Trushan, is he going to run? I've looked at the forecast. It's 24, 25 every day.
He was pulled out on the day last year, you remember, of course. Scenes in the studio when that happened.
That would be only because, look, listen, Strad is Strad, but he's clearly not the force of old. I think that showed at York. Scope is probably the big danger for me, but I wasn't sure, given his pre-Royal Oak win, whether he would prefer a bit more cut in the ground.
It's possible, isn't it?
But I just thought Kyprios, he's been impressive so far. Ryan Moore, talking to Betfair, I think, earlier in the week, said he's sure he'll stay. And I just thought, with the makeup, I just thought he was dangerous on top of the ground. He'll fly through that.
You forget how lightly raced he is as well, actually.
Yeah.
Just 6 starts.
Full brother to
6
search
runs,
for a son.
Yeah.
Should stay.
He has shown some quirks, as Barry mentioned. I think you put him up in the Lingfield trial last year, didn't you, Barry? That was the one flop, wasn't it?
Yeah, he disappointed there. I'm not sure mentally he was very strong last year, but they've turned him inside out this time around. He's a different horse altogether. I think Ryan Moore's very sweet on him. We did a podcast with him during the week. It's well worth checking out on the Betfair podcast channels, and he was quite taken with him. He thought he has to prove he stays the 2.5 miles, but he's no doubt in his mind that he'll get it.
I was lucky enough to speak to Aidan in the studio. He was sweet on him as well. All right, let's go back to this race then. Selection, Throne Hall for Barry. Let's quickly go down the panel.
King of the Midlands for me. He cost €600,000. He's now been given the cruelest cut of all, but I think despite pulling like a train last time out, I think there could be more to come if Molly can get him settled. He's clearly got the class on pedigree. But
could just see this race suiting him then, couldn't you? Because they will go hell for leather, I think, into the home straight. They tend to. Arctic Fox for me, as I mentioned, Posty.
I'm with the favourite, Top Anticipation.
On the hat trick under Becky Smith. Are you ready to take up the commentary, man?
Do you want me to do this one?
I mean, I've been told you can do this.
I'll try my best. I went for the commentary role at Race Tech, didn't get it, so you never know.
It's awkward, isn't it?
Clearly not that good.
Listen, I think Ross Briley did as well, actually, but he saw it as going for a run. He just had
it's seriously closed book, that, isn't it? Those slots come up like once in a blue moon.
It's such a hard job.
Did Vanessa Ryle get it, did she?
No, 2 young, Stephen Powell, I think, and another guy, 2 young guys. They're very good, but I mean, loads of people went for it.
Cut the teeth in the points, I heard, didn't they? You probably, they probably called your second places quite a few times.
Yeah, they'd be well aware of those ones, yeah for sure.
All right, great stuff.
Charlie, what did you do on him?
Do you know what? Like, as in, I suppose it's why I keep getting called back. He just loves someone to take the piss out of him. And I'm the one person. I broad shoulders, Barry. I can give it and take it as well.
Oh, I've got 2 socials coming. Yeah,
Lucky there's someone sitting between you.
Yeah, that could make the extra bits. Listen, and I walk over and wallop him one in a minute.
We're good mates, me and Posties. You can probably tell out there, but he's easy to target. Let me tell you. Chris Timms says with the Fav again here. Chris on a quick double in excellent form. You're with Posty. Nice win over course and distance last time. Good one, Chris. Who's coming up next? And Jake Galloway, good to have you with us, Jake, says, I'm on Casilli in the next. Oh, yes, for Serena Brotherton, the aforementioned go-to female amateur. I mean, she's literally cleaned up. It's quite interesting she's on one for the Easter Bees. This has definitely been targeted.
It is an interesting angle, that
Yeah.
too.
All right, well, that's a good couple of shouts.
Especially if they get Mick on the scales for the champagne. I think he's tried to do that before.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious me. Who is it that sells the champagne up there? Is it Mum or someone like that? I'm not sure, actually. They're off and running, though. We'll find out shortly. And who's come out? There's one that's missed it a little bit. If you are on out the back in the green cap, that's oh, my goodness. Cathensius. Cathayensis?
Yeah, that's it. I reckon.
Cathayensis.
Cathayensis.
That was a curveball, wasn't it? I didn't see that coming.
I thought Danny was doing
That's why I dodged the start of that.
I'll tell you what, we're going to miss half this race with you talking away about the pronunciation of that horse.
I still didn't get it right, but if you...
Molly Lando hasn't settled this horse of yours.
I'm a bit concerned. King of the Midlands and Throne Hall going on. Also quite keen towards the middle of the field. I think that looks like Billy Roberts wide on the outside, but prominent in behind is Casilli. I've just seen Serena Brotherton's first ride was back in 1994, and I wasn't even born.
Really?
So that's how long Serena's been in the game.
Plenty of experience.
Plenty of experience.
She certainly has. I mean, she would be the top rider. And where is she sitting at the moment, Danny?
She's in third, and then on the outside still is Billy Roberts, back in fifth. Bolin Joan looks like in sixth is Zelander, then a bit of a gap back to the likes of Cafeyensis, Tiger Jet, and Arctic Fox. Any real change in the market, Barry, early on?
Top anticipation 3.15. Casilli is 5. 7.2 Bolin Joan. That travels well. Arctic Fox 8.4. That seems to be going well also.
Yeah,
Jolly's got a bit of running from there, hasn't he?
Who?
The Jolly, quite a fair way back.
This is what they do in this race.
We are looking at a very
four have
strong
gone clear,
gallop
basically.
here, no?
Yeah, they tend to fall in a hole a little bit. Will they stick far side? This will be interesting. I'd say the female riders might just do it, you know.
Throne Hall
No
and
way.
King of the Midlands
Come
going
up
on.
the far side, yeah.
All right, let's have. Yeah, they're going. This is what they do.
Becky.
You never know at
She's
your
gone plenty
do.
early
She's
on this,
kicked,
isn't she?
Barry. She's kicked.
Go on, Beck.
She's kicked.
Becky.
No, you're bro.
King of the Midlands is gone.
Brody
Is
Hanson.
faded. Look at top
What's
anticipation. Powering into consideration here.
Fav's
Arctic Fox
coming.
also making
Throne Hall's gone
a bit of
clear.
a move, but Throne Hall in front. On the inside is Bolin Joan. But
What's
look
her
at top
name? Becky, is it?
anticipation.
Becky.
On
Come
the
on, Becky.
outside.
Come on, Becky. You're shouting.
Top anticipation here, coming to take on Throne
it's
Hall.
Brody, of
also
course, isn't
staying
it?
on
Yeah,
for the back.
Becky, and just kick him out.
Going well is
Push him
Zelander
out, hands
still
and
in
heels.
there.
Keep
Come on,
going,
Zelander
Throne Hall. Look,
Throne
Barry's getting
Hall.
excited.
Throne Hall.
I think you're
Push him
going to
out,
get
hands and
gubbed.
heels, she
Go on,
wins.
Alice.
Push him
Oh,
out.
she's
Here it comes
absolutely
from
battling.
The horse. Put
Zelander
your
in
whip
front.
down.
Go on,
you
Alice.
son.
Zealander's
Go on,
coming. This
Alice.
is Alice
Go
Stephen.
on,
Alice.
Zealandia.
This is
Zealandia's
Poste's
gonna
goal.
go on,
Look
Alice.
at this. She's going to do
Go on,
Barry.
Alice.
Time
Go
to
on, Alice.
perfection here.
Oh,
I don't believe it, Barry. So
Beach.
close yet so far at the line.
Jeez, I taught her everything she knows. Brilliant.
You literally have. It's remarkable, isn't it? Barry, goodness me, that was a slow final furlong for you and your supporters.
Unbalanced the horse by starting giving it the stick. Like, she'd no need to. He was responding all the way up the straight for hands and heels, and she probably been better off just pushing him out hands and heels. But traded at 1.75 on the exchange. The winners come with a wet sail, though. Winners come with a wet sail, and traded at a high of 280. Wow. Let me see. Was there anything matched at 280? No, 260 for £2. A high of 260 for £2 on the winner. Good shout, Charlie. Well done.
This was the outside of the lot, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah, Betfair SP of 43.
Ian Williams, first time in Britain.
Yeah, gelded and yeah.
We knew very little about it. The market suggested the Sun, the Sea and the Moon would do it. She peached that one, didn't she?
I should give it an absolutely beast of a ride. Yeah. fair
Where's she
play.
come from then, Alice Stevens?
How do you mean?
Well, where's she?
She's local, just outside of Stratford, like
Okay.
parents' farm, and did a bit of pony racing, and then she's been based with us for sort of five or 6 years now. She was ladies champion novice point-to-point rider, and she's built up, and she was third in the title this year, and she rides a lot for Kelly Morgan as well.
She's going to get more rides, I think, after that advert, isn't she?
I mean, in these sort of races, it'd be more the fact that she just hasn't had stacks of rides under rules. I mean, I'd hope after that people will take note, and she'd be a go-to person with these sort of races.
A couple of disappointments in there. Arctic Fox didn't pick up, having looked like she was going quite well at one point. Top anticipation, every chance?
Yeah, travelled really well. Just I think probably handicappers maybe got hold of him now, you know.
King
Fair
of the
enough.
Midlands, €600,000 down the drain. I think for King
Yeah.
Power, a bit of a disappointment.
King of the Midlands. Should be calling you that, shouldn't we?
Well, it's been said before.
A Welsh Grand National winning rider, don't forget, of course. You've ridden around York, you must have done.
A few times, yeah.
How'd you get on?
You know, don't you?
You've ridden at Sandown as well, haven't you? Come on, everyone thinks I'm taking the mickey out of you, which I am. But you've ridden around Sandown. You've had one ride on the flat there.
Yeah,
Did you look for the railway fences?
I was nearly. Yeah, I mean,
Found them before me.
I had more idea where they were than you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, I hate calling Sandown. Just got those pesky railway fences. But you had one around there for Ian Wood, didn't you? Of course, whose son Ron is
years
the
ago,
former
yeah.
editor at the Racing Post.
Yeah, years ago, and I was based with Richard Fahey. So yeah.
Top guy, top operation, the Woods were when they were training as well in Lambourne. Right, we've got to go to Sandown next, isn't it? 2:15 coming up. We've got a bit of time, actually. A couple of nons here, Barry, in particular, Uzo. He won't be pouring it on this afternoon.
Oh, lovely. Like it, Dave. Like it. We spent a lot of time thinking about that one. Yeah, but there's only, 6-7 runners in it now. But Sheer Rock is the horse I like in it, Charlie. We're going to bet in the winning place. It's still, obviously, there's 3 non-runners, but 3 places still stand on the bet on the exchange. Sheer Rock, 25 quid win and 25 quid place. Happy to be a price taker here. Won a novice in Chepstow last August, was 10s on and carried his penalty then with a nice win in Bath in September. Contested the Blue Ribbon. That's the Epsom race, Dave, isn't it? The Blue Ribbon.
That's right. I was thinking about that in my pomme de terre last weekend.
just quickly, Barry, 25 quid in the 3-place market as well, yeah?
As well, yeah, please, Charlie. Finished last, but, didn't get a hard race when his chance is gone. He was let come home in his own time. I think he was a bit fresh there as well. That will have knocked that freshness and that fizz out of him. And I think he's a horse that definitely he's getting weight for age, the 11 pounds. I think that's going to be a massive help to him as well. It's nice to see them taking on the older horses this early in the season. So Sheer Rock's for me.
I don't want to worry you, but that's one of Robbie Wilder's strongest of the day, actually. So he's all over that. Yeah, it's quite an interesting angle, I think, isn't it? Definitely unexposed to get up against some more seasoned handicappers, shall we say. Paul Keeley's having a good day, unsurprisingly. V-Sight was a 2-point win for him, and his Sizzlers out there. Arctic Fox didn't do so well. He's got what's he got to come still, Kills? If you're not a members club member, why not? But I'll give you the premium content. He goes for Lion Fox in 235. Yukon Glen in the 305, the race to the Ebor race, and the Atomic Lady in the 340. Their Kills selections. I'll give you price-wise in a bit, but we've got another social coming in. Toon 2020. Good to see you again, says my nap of the day in the next. Lyndon B.
I'm with him, yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Lyndon B. No Uzo to worry about, I suppose, this time.
No Uzo, but...
it's always a worry, Uzo.
The horse won round Sandown off this same mark last season, and very shrewd connections. And
for the Flints.
Yeah, and then I just watched the race back last time, and I just thought he was he was tenderly ridden, if you know what I mean. As in, I didn't feel like he got a hard time of it, and I just wondered if they were working back to this sort of mark, drop down a pound, and off the same mark as in... Again, maybe it's barking up the wrong tree, if you know what I mean. But I just thought that return to back on this track, the same mark as he won off last year, and in an open sort of contest, that was where I was going.
PJ McDonald, who's having a bit of a renaissance, it's good to see as well on Lyndon B, the course and distance winner. I'm on another course and distance winner here, Via Serendipity. I didn't like the favourite actually. Here, I think Barry's about to tell us it's very strong in the market, encouraged with SDS on, but that form's taken a bit of a knock last time at Kempton. I'm not exactly sure about that form here, really, but he's in 3. We'll probably save some ground. But Via Serendipity absolutely loves it here. He's handicapped to win the 8-year-old, and it probably looks like this has been the plan under Harry Davies, who's got some big books for a young lad at Royal Ascot next week.
Understandably so, though. I mean, is he
that good?
He's the find of the season, isn't he? As such, I think he absolutely cleaned up in pony racing and all that, didn't he? And
good apprentices coming through, haven't we?
Yeah. Is he the Boldens? At the Boldens, Andrew Boldens?
They produced them all, don't they?
He said that he was never going to have another apprentice again a while back, didn't he?
Don't go there, yeah. Your Governor, Richard Fahey, was very vocal
another
on
one
that
that
as well,
joined in, yeah.
Are you on the favourite, Danny?
I'm with you, actually, because I was with Tahitian Prince, but now a non-runner.
For the
Staffords. So I'm going to be with
no longer today, yeah.
Just a pound higher than the last winning mark. I'm happy to. But I think Sheer Rocks, that blue ribbon hasn't worked out awfully.
Blue Ribond.
The blue ribond, sorry. You've had the 4th win next to Mighty United Nations, and then Mighty Ulysses was second in a big
very good horse, Mighty Ulysses. Yeah. That's strong form, that is, that Haydock form.
I quite fancy the winner that's in the Britannia, isn't he?
Yeah.
Who put 50 in you.
Yeah, the unbeaten Who put 50 in you?
Yeah.
The Carl
Beat
Cox
Mike Ulysses.
for Rooney's. Yeah, did
He's
yeah.
going to
yeah.
the St James's Palace, interestingly.
Mike Ulysses. Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
So,
He was in the blue riband, as you said.
yeah, the blue riband.
It is the blue riband, isn't it? Barry couldn't have it last week.
No, I'm not surprised.
You think it's blue ribbon, do you?
I
Man of your stock, I thought would know a bit more about how to talk properly. He's a very good horse, Mike Ulysses. They thought he would win that Derby trial, and he was far too keen. And they dropped him back, didn't they, in what is traditionally quite a hot Newmarket maiden. And then I think they thought he was certainty that day at Haydock, and he went clear.
He did, yeah.
And I think they couldn't believe they got beaten. The right horse, the winner.
Yeah, like I say.
We covered that on the show, Barry, didn't we? And Clive Cox afterwards said, I was astonished. I dropped my binoculars.
Who's that? Who put 50 on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put that up in the Britannia. That's one of my bets at week at the handicaps. I did a piece for the Post that they're publishing on Monday.
Oh, you
need
to get one place better than Astro King and Hunt Cup. Have you? Obviously, I said
I'll
you
mention
did your
Award Day,
preview
will you
at Betfair. Who was there anything juicy came out of that with the guys?
Yeah, at Twilight Calls was well found at 14-1. He's a 6-1 chance now. Ryan Moore rides him. Both Tony Calvin and Kevin Blake were very sweet on his chances. Looking forward to seeing the likes of Alfred Munnings in the Chesham.
Yes.
I think Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore don't have a very strong hand in the Group 1s, but in the 2-year-old division, they're very, very strong indeed. And I wouldn't put anyone off if he runs in at Wordsworth in the Queen Alexander. They're getting out stakes on the last race on the last day.
He needs 3 miles, doesn't he, that horse?
He's currently around a 4-1 chance, so I wouldn't put anyone off having a fiver each way that at the moment. I think he could go off short in the race.
The beers will be tasting good, Barry, won't they, by the time that's run? I'll tell you. We'll definitely need a Desperado and the Thirsty Bear after that.
Jamie Spencer booked for Pied Piper, isn't he?
Yes. That's in. You've got, of course, on the first day you've got the Ascot Stakes over 2 mile 4, and then you've got the Copper Horse Handicap, one of these newer races, mile 6.
That's Cleveland, isn't it? Chester Cup winners in there, yeah.
And there's a horse called Semhan in there. If he gets in, that one on Guineas weekend when you were there, Barry, it beat Valley Forge in that race. So they think that's got loads in hand still, but he's got to get in. So again, tomorrow morning. 10:30, the decks will be out. How many will Baid face? Is he the banker in the multiples for you? Who's got a lucky 15 out there for Royal Ascot? Let's hear it. Want to get it in. Kiprios banker?
Well, I think the one I forgot, Alfred Munnings, I was working out.
Monster,
he was
isn't he?
unbelievable on that debut. He looked so professional. I think the Chesham, I think only Aidan and Paul Cole have won the race in recent years, really. Aidan's got a brilliant record in it. And I think Paul Cole says he's got quite a good one in it, which is always interesting in the Tresham.
He won it with the best workhorse they've ever had that didn't quite go on. What was his name? Berkshire. Tanny. I'll tell you what, for 94, that's not bad, is it? Not too bad. It was back in 94, when it was Jim Crowley, I remember. He was a maiden. Look, the 2-year-old races look extremely strong. I think so far it has been a very good year for 2-year-olds. I think that's as hot as I can remember, Barry. Blackbeard looks like the Coventry run. I was speaking to David Jennings yesterday, and he said it looks like Little Big Bear's going for the Windsor Castle, and Blackbeard has now been smashed off the boards for the Coventry, hasn't he?
Yes, he has on day one. Really well supported in the Coventry, into around a 3-1 chance generally now, Blackbeard, He's a nice horse. The Antarctic as well is one that you could throw into the equation, whatever race he goes for.
Statuette, if she comes over, we're not sure if she will actually. There's a little bit of.
Don't think she is,
isn't she? Yeah, it's interesting.
No, just I get a feeling she's not the way. He did a stable tour with Kevin Blake, didn't he? That I read on at the races, and I'd say if she was coming, he'd have said it there and then. Yeah, she's definitely gone. But they're hemming and hawing about her at the moment. He nominated. There's another race that potentially she could run in on Irish Derby weekend.
That's it.
Which is the end of the month.
It's interesting they're taking a bit more of a patient approach with that. They've got another one for the Albany whose name escapes me, I think in the Westerberg colours, but it's all ahead of us, isn't it? Just a reminder in the chat, if you're looking out there, there's 25% off your first year of Members Club if you join from now until the 19th of this month, of course, which is the final day. Well, it's the Sunday after, isn't it? Soon to be over. This time next week, of course, we will have had a long week, myself and Barry. You're going, Posty, on the Tuesday?
Yeah, I try and always go on the Tuesday.
Blagged your way in?
Racing. Pardon?
Blagged your way in?
Yeah, of course. I was saying to you at the Royal Enclosure, I'll just stick the old chest out.
They won't stop you going in there, not a chance.
My wife's even better at it. We went to the airport recently, long queue. She said, "Don't worry, follow me," and straight up to the front, and in we go.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then she was taken aside, and
Put in.
she was taken aside.
You'd struggle, honestly. Yeah.
So some disaster with the flights at the moment, isn't it?
Madness,
Out there with
yeah.
airports. Oh, Jesus, don't.
Here we go.
Anyway, let's see who takes flight in this race. Danny Archer, take it away, my man. 2:15 Sandown.
Good start, I think, in the middle from the favourite Encourage, and also prominent is Blue For You, the outside of the field for Tom Marquand. Empire State of Mind also prominent towards the back of the field. I think the back marker is Lyndon B, Poste selection, also Veer Serendipity, also towards the back, but Blue For You, the outsider. A steady gallop so far, Dave.
Yeah, and I think Veer Serendipity is not liking that at all. Neither's Coase out there as well for the Wiggums. And Sylvester rides Sandown so well, doesn't he? Because he used to ride for Shadwell, of course, Hamden Almatoon, who likes his horses racing prominently, and Sylvester got that very much. Is he slipping on the lead a bit, this chap, Posty, do you think?
Well, I think he's getting an easy time of it in front 100% and dropping the anchor now as they go around the bend. As you said before, if you do this and fill up, you can make all round Sandown.
Wide of the season so far, Quickthorn in the Henry VII Stakes or whatever, Henry VIII.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah.
And he's trying to do it again, isn't he? He slips into the home straight. Barry, we're around about 3.5 furlongs out.
Yeah, he's still 11 on the exchange. Encourage is 2.78. He's clear favourite. Empire State of Mind 5.7, but Encourage 2-1 now. You can have 18 about the one in front.
Yeah,
Sheer Rocks needs to find a gap, doesn't it?
So do I.
Yeah, you're Posty, you're screaming for a gap. Veer Serendipity on the outside, then favourites in
That's it,
trouble.
PJ. Get out there, son.
Look at this. Lyndon B's coming. Posty's going to go mad here.
Here we go. Encourage. And Veer Serendipity go on.
That
Encourage
is
just about in front. Blue For You also still there on the rail.
Come on,
Veer
Veer.
Serendipity trying the best on the
Come on,
outside.
the old boy.
And he's staying on strongly. Here comes Coase as well, showing a good turn of foot late. Veer Serendipity just about goes
over
on
the
with
top,
Coase.
this is.
Encouraged in the middle.
Come
Coase
on,
and
Veer.
Veer Serendipity. It's going to be a head
Yeah,
bobble towards the line.
Gets there.
Veer Serendipity
Happy
all out
days.
wins. Veer
Beautiful.
Serendipity. Coase second.
Very
Blue For You third.
Much indeed. Thank you, Danny. Barry, that was another slow furlong there that we've seen, and probably a little bit of changing fortunes, because he looked like he was going to get swallowed.
He certainly did. He traded at a high of 22 in running. Your winner via Serendipity had a Betfair SP of 7.6. Your runner-up traded at a low of 1.33. Coase, 1.33 for small money. What else was there?
The favourite was painfully slow, wasn't he, in the final furlong? But he only wilted late.
3.
But as you said, Dave, Harry Davies didn't panic, did he? He's got a very good racing mind on him.
He knows how to win via Serendipity as well. He loves it there, doesn't he?
They went no gallop, though, did they? I mean, they finished in a heap.
But he was, yeah, exactly. I mean, the runner-up, you definitely would mark up, wouldn't you, Coase? Because that has come from off a pedestrian pace, and he's very nearly won. He wears the hood, of course. He's a very keen horse, but Michael Wiggum will get the best out of him. That's 2 races down then at Sandown. You'll notice that the tipping trophy has come in between us, because we are off the mark. Posty can only dream of such trophies.
I had my play set option in the first came up, didn't it?
Do you have a trophy cabinet at home?
No.
You don't
have
have one
enough
of
of
them,
them, mate.
Yeah, come on.
No, there's a few, yeah.
We're popping to Chester, aren't we, a little bit later on? Can't wait for that. I really fancy one in that race we're taking.
I'm good round there.
Of course, you know well.
Yeah, I'm good round there. Yeah.
You won a 5 furlong race there, didn't you? I mean,
Brilliant.
can you imagine that?
Yeah, but like Danny said, I'm James Milner, mate, and versatile, will play anywhere.
James Millman, I thought he said at first.
That did worry me.
No.
Millman. He joins us on Tuesday, by the way, for the first day of Royal Ascot. Just James Millman. Can't wait for that. OK, we've got a social coming up. I believe it's a Devo Lucky 15. Like this, Devo. This is where we start warming up now then for Royal Ascot. Royal Scotsman in the Coventry. The Antarctic in the Norfolk. Yeah, looks like that's where he's going, doesn't it? LaSalle in the St James's Palace Stakes. And Chief of Chiefs in the Wokingham, who Charlie Fellows, nice link there, producer. They're finally getting the gig out there in the gallery, because Charlie Fellows just won the last race, and of course Chief of Chiefs, who I seem to remember won the silver the first time they ran the silver Wokingham. Do you remember in that horrible lockdown we had? Yeah. He came and beat the very good horse of William Haggis's, who was an absolute certainty that day, and got chinned on the line, whose name escapes me. Did it win the Air Gold Cup? It might have done, I can't remember anyway. But that's an interesting, juicy one out there. And yeah, it looks like the Antarctic is going to Norfolk. So, look, good luck with that. LaSalle, I suppose, Caribus taking him on then. A lot being said about this double, isn't there, on the first day, Barry, for the boys in blue, not just Godolphin, but Shadwell as well.
Yeah, it's trading. Last time I checked, it was about 4 to 5. It was paying. Yeah, they'll both be hard beat, won't they? Especially the Boyd. Like the horses in against him are all well exposed at this stage of their careers, and I suppose it's very hard to see Caribas what's going to beat him as well. Hopefully, we'll get to see both of them clash before the season's over. It'll be great.
Yes, Boyd and Caribas, our Guineas winner, of course. We thought it was a strong Guineas. That will be tested out. Around a bend will be interesting for him. Haven't seen him around a bend, I don't think, have we?
Yeah, I think his idiosyncrasies from last year looked to find out, though, I thought, last time out.
The 101. The 101 gubbing that no one wants reminding about.
And again, the only criticism I would have is not a great race again. That's another group.
It's going to cut up because Native Trail looks the biggest danger and probably won't go there, will he? So, all right. So again, we'll see the decks for that tomorrow. But 4 to 5, that double. Barry, let's come to you before we go on with our next race. What will they do with Boyd in the market? Do you think? Of course, Frankel went off like 10s on for that race, didn't he?
Yeah, he's 7-2 on. He was during the week. I think he's 4s on now. He could go off 5s on, 6s on, really, couldn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So that double, if you're looking at it, and a lot of people thinking, well, that's one to boost my bank with. I think very hard to see them being beaten at this stage. Anyway, I wonder whether that will shorten up.
Do you think he's the best since Frankel, Boyd?
Trying to think about something else since Frankel. You've just bowled me a googly.
Sorry.
Oh, hang on a minute. That doesn't happen on this show much. Good question. Might go to Barry with that if you don't mind. That's a hot potato. You like him for the Arc, of course, Barry. You've got a whopping ticket.
Yeah, I really want him to step up in distance. Obviously, go to the Juddmonte, and if he wins that, I'd love to see him win that in a hack canter and then give him something to think about. Potentially that they could go to the Arc. They're sporting owners as well, aren't they, at this stage?
Yeah.
So hopefully they might step him up in trippies. But I see the Star as an Arc winner. We know he's got the toe for a mile. If they step him up in the Juddmonte and he was to win easy there, well then, Jenny, they have a hard decision to make whether they'd want to go to Paris. So it'd be great to see.
He probably is the best things, Frankel, don't you think? Look, I mean, 129 Racing Bowes rating, that's lofty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering you didn't see a racecourse this time last year.
Remarkable, isn't it? And, the Lockins, he just did what he had to, didn't he? And whether we then think he's going to sidestep the Sussex, don't we? So maybe that clash with Caribas might not be on, but it'll certainly be meeting up against some 3-year-olds at some point, probably the International, worth such a lot of money, isn't it? And then, who knows? Bred to stay, could well be going to the Arc. All right, let's move on, shall we? And get back to the action today. What comes up next is the question. We're probably going to York,
Boardman.
I would imagine. Indeed. Boardman's race. Yeah, now, when's the handicapper going to catch up with Boardman, Barry?
Yeah, he's gone up £9 for his 3 wins this season. He's been a beacon of consistency, hasn't he, really? But I thought that was a bad race he won last day, and he was well found in the market in Chester. He went off 11-8 favourite. Oh, This Is Us ran no sort of race in Epsom. He looked like he was lame, but he nearly pulled up at one stage. The second's been beaten since as well. So questions about the form, but he was a 7-4 chance, 6-4 and 7-4. He's out to 4.4 now if you want the lay. We're just going to take 25 quid out of him, please, Charlie.
In the lay market.
Yeah. So just over to the right-hand side, click on that lay box, 4.4. We're going to take 25 quid of the backer's stake. Happy to be a price taker here at 4.4 because he is chasing out a bit. But yeah, I'm happy to have the field against him here at around 7-2 on.
Yeah, I think he got first run, didn't he, at Chester, a track he absolutely loves. I'd be with Barry there as well. And it's the month of May, isn't it? He seems to win Bournemouth. That's the thing about him, So he's putting that to the test. But once again, great to see these horses get on a roll, isn't it? Where are you going, Danny Archer?
I'm with Lion Tower here. Quite sweet on Grant Chura's charge.
Give me the case.
Second in the competitive handicap York last time. I think he just proved the best of the rest. The winner won quite readily on that occasion. However, I thought plenty of positives and off 90. I think there's still a bit more scope for improvement. Grant Chura, he did very well in the Sunday Series last year, didn't he? He's a trainer who's firmly on the up. And I just thought made a pill at around 4-1, I think. So.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually. Fools seldom differ, don't they? And it worked for us in the last race.
It did.
This is staying here, this race.
If you can't beat him, join him. So I was Lion Tower as well.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Oh, so whatever happens, you're not getting the trophy after this race?
Well, not quite. Not yet, anyway.
Oh, I like it. Fighting talk.
Kingman, can I chuck him into the mix?
Kingman.
Very
Great
good.
shout. What was his Racing Post rating? Let's remind ourselves of that. Kingman, I remember that day in the Guineas. Turns out Night of Thunder was an extremely good horse. Proper sire now, isn't he? But
James Dorr.
You were saying about a Derby winner who's been pulling up some some stump shots.
Yeah, just an interesting one. Like Workforce was
Don't
shipped
hear
off
a lot
to,
about
to
him anymore, do
Japan
you?
for his stud career, and it didn't work out at all. And I presume he got bought, and he's standing as a national hunt sire in Ireland, and he did very well with his 4-year-old pointers, which is often a barometer, and then to which size that they like, in a jumping perspective. So yeah, the Workforces were selling very well this week in Ireland.
Yeah, not
3-year-olds.
I didn't have him down as an obvious jump sire, I suppose. I suppose Derby winners these days
Yeah,
stretch him out. Don't
yeah. I
they?
mean, he's by King's Best as well, which isn't a huge amount to recommend him. And King's Best was a bad stallion, So it's. But yeah, Workforce is a new national hunt sire on the up.
Did you get one?
We did actually. Yeah.
What? No name yet.
No name yet. Philly actually.
Really?
Give 50,000 euros.
Alice Stevens is in for that.
Alice Stevens
That's
coaching.
second place if it's on the horizon.
Yeah. Her or Tommy O'Brien will probably ride her. So
Oh yeah,
fingers crossed.
he's a good rider, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
All right, okay. Well, we're all on Bar Barry, Lion Tower, if you're wondering out there. Chalet has been some good support for this. Course and distance winner. Michael Dodds. It's whether Chalet settles well enough for me. That's what I was slightly worried about. Titian Rock is quite interesting. Titan Rock, I should say. First time wind up for the Hitman Hart. May Wake in there as well. Very, very progressive. Oshinor's got a nice job now, hasn't he, with Richard Fahey? He's one in there as well. Bit of money as well for Animal Instinct. There's quite an interesting jockey book in this, isn't it? William Buick and, of course, Ian Williams on a quick double. First time tongue tie.
Yeah, fifth to Boardman last time out. I guess the only problem I would have is the form so far, despite having a gelding operation and wind surgery, needs to build on it. But I mean, William had a treble at Haydock early in the week. Then he had another double somewhere else at Newbury, I think.
It's just all over the place, everywhere, isn't he? Yeah.
It's good that he's finally, hopefully going to be crowned.
Went up to
champion
Hamilton
jockey
for the first time.
Yeah.
Rode treble that day,
Ian Williams, best dual-purpose trainer in the country.
Tough one. Staying king almost, isn't he? You called Robert Cal the Sprint King. That was a tag that he used to get. But Reshun, of course, won the Ascot Stakes, didn't he, last year? He goes for that again. He's fancied apparently as well. I actually heard that this morning. He just gets these horses and just stretches them, doesn't he? Is he the best dual-purpose trainer? Tough one, that. I mean, Alan King springs to mind.
Yeah.
Gary Moore, obviously. Goshen in the week. Oh my Goshen coming back out. What is it? You said he needed rain. I said he probably needs a lot more than that.
And you're probably right, yeah.
Yeah.
Owners land a
Love
big
him
touch.
though, don't we? Oh, that was some touch. What do you make of that in the week, Barry? The owners of Goshen.
They knew nothing about it, yeah.
apparently. 200 to 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a few quid, a little touch landed by them. Happy days. They deserve it, don't they? Put a lot into the game.
Why don't they come out, Barry, and just say, yeah, we had it right off?
Don't know, you'd have to ask them, Dave.
Yeah, there's probably a reason for that, isn't there? They're probably
It would be good if someone did just come out one time when they'd pull it off and just say, yeah, do you know what? We absolutely lined it up and smashed it.
It does happen, doesn't it? It does happen. They do. People do come out and go,
right, yeah.
Woo! That's it. We got the lot, It does seem to be an unfashionable thing to do these days. Probably lots of reasons for it, I'm sure. But yeah, Goshen comes back out. All the characters, of course, they make their way down to the start for the 2:35 at York. A couple of socials. Good timing. Will Carey in my ear today. Says Neil Francis has come on. And he says, small each way on Arzano. Bouncing back. Now, Arzano we saw running at Chester, didn't we? And he...
Behind Boardman.
Yeah, behind... Yeah, what happened to him that day? I mean, badly needed it, didn't he, I think? And he's got a good record fresh as well, so, interesting.
So draw a factor here or not for you?
Not really anymore. York is so hard to read, isn't it? I mean, they stayed far side in the ladies' race, drifted obviously late on, but I bet you they don't do it in this. They can go, well, you never know where they're going to go. No. Just when you think you've got York licked, they change it up. Ever been to York, Danny?
No, that was going to say next. I'm desperate to go. Never been. That's probably the big one I want to tick off the
bucket
list.
Do a few days for Racing TV, don't you?
Well, I wouldn't mind, yeah. We're doing what we're doing up there, yeah.
Do you do a bit on their social as well?
Yeah, mainly. That's how I started. So they kind of asked if I could do a bit on there. So that's how it started. And yeah, they're all right to work for. And obviously they have a lot more rating at the races. So you're not doing Cags and Mare on a Tuesday afternoon.
You were a bit mischievous on their social channel the other day, weren't you, with the Boris Johnson reference?
That was me, yeah.
I know it was you. I got told. I liked it actually. What was the horse called?
Cabinet of Clowns.
Cabinet of Clowns.
So I just thought it was worth a bit of a, My bosses actually were all right about it, so that was all right, thank God.
Well, of course, absolutely, yeah. A rising star is Danny Archer. All right, okay, Jack, Titan Rock for me. Okay, yeah, such well-known colours this, aren't they? And a very, very good firm. I probably would have liked to have seen a little bit of money for it, though, I think, probably Jack out there. But first-time Windop, could be bouncing back, and, of course, bidding to finish off, or start where we finished off last year, I should say.
Mm-hmm. You were giving us a good shout before we came on Oshinor, and you said about he's riding Clear Point. I think it was a horse.
Is he going to get that ride?
He's just jocked up, I see.
What, the Ardad horse in the...
Yeah.
Where does he... Which race is he going to go for?
In the Norfolk, 9-1, I've got
Yeah.
him.
Is he 9-1 for the Norfolk? He's a proper horse.
Yeah, he looked very good, didn't he? They were screaming about him
Did you see
before.
him yesterday?
Yeah.
He nearly caused carnage in a race. He got 8 days for it.
Oisin.
Did you see that? No?
Yeah. Last at York.
York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, brought a horse right across.
I didn't see it.
He's lucky he didn't get 2 weeks.
There's a lot of it, like, I mean, that wasn't great, but like about the dangerous riding and stuff, because there was the Cartmel again, wasn't there, where they were kicking off about it.
Honestly, best. They did no point in advertising Cartmel.
No.
Just watch this show. If you've never been, brilliant track, by the way. Blink and you miss it. But yes, Oshinor, null.
Was there any word about that happening, that appointment? You know, I mean, I know he came out, obviously come over briefly before that.
He was with
announced.
Dermot Weld, wasn't he? I
Yeah.
think. And well, I mean, Paul Hannigan's now moved on, hasn't he? Of course,
Yeah.
Richard, which has sort of been a bit forgotten about that, but he rode quite a few winners for him last month. Good pilot, obviously. Mayway Kiri's on a 4-timer. Just when the handicapper catch, I think this is probably a bit tough for Mayway, maybe. Richard, but that Clear Point you mentioned for the Norfolk, I'll be backing him. I think.
Yeah.
You can watch in your members club. Look for Clear Point. Search it in if you don't know any search engine. Have a look at that Airwind. Woo! And whatever beats him will be a very, very good horse, says Richard Fahey, in the Norfolk. I suppose you know the market's always going to point towards one of Aiden's there.
The
Is it such a
Antarctic.
great the Antarctic?
He's a bit fizzy, the Antarctic.
And Devo's got that in his lucky 15 anti-post, isn't he? You're a bit cold on him, though.
I am a little bit. Batash's full brother, I think.
We're warming
That was
up.
very
Posty.
good.
We're warming up. I don't know where the puns come from. I don't know.
We're poles apart on this one, Dave.
Very, very good. This is why you sit in this chair. You got it. You know the game. Absolutely right.
think
Okay,
he'll
they're
go
milling around down
south.
at the start here. They're taking a little bit of time to get there. I mean, we've got 3 minutes, haven't we? We'll be signing off with you at 3:40 in a very competitive 3-year-old sprint handicap. There's probably a couple of group sprinters in waiting in that, aren't there? Has anyone got anything fancy?
I think I'm a bit boring in this one. I do like the Mick Channon Ingrator, and I think the form's been boosted since by Harry Free, who reopposes here. But I think I was actually working when Ingrator won. I think Mick Channon said we think an awful lot of this
been
horse.
kept for it, and he won that Newmarket trial, if you like, on Guineas Day, didn't he? Do you like him in that?
I've actually gone for also, I think maybe comes a wrist attached Gisborne.
Sean Levy should have won on that the other day, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
I think we can say that.
What about Shannon selling West Isley?
Yes, Isley?
Isley?
Oh, is he? I didn't
West
know.
Arsley, isn't it?
Isley? Okay.
Again, blue ribband.
Yeah.
West Arsley it is. Yeah, that's not again, the big story in the week we covered on that for Mick. Up for 7 mil, isn't it?
Blimey.
Yeah.
Thinking about it?
Yeah, I mean, I went and had a look round the other day.
With Hen. Charlie Post is great mates with Hen. She's mischievous, Hen, isn't she?
Very,
I should say
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that so much about the triple
No.
Gold Cup winning trainer, but she is very, very mischievous indeed. And of course, when she retired, in all but name really, didn't she? She gets these horses and she goes to mix, didn't she? And
Yeah, the Radford horses.
Radford
especially,
horses,
yeah.
very good horses they've had.
Summersby,
Racing
wasn't it?
Demon, Summersby.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
loved Summersby. Yeah, but Mick's still very much doing it. And of course, he won the Wood Cup last Friday. Was the Wood Cup? Yeah, it was Epsom Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oaks Day. Sorry.
Also loads of experience, wasn't it? And put it to good use. I can't think of his name now.
Legend of Xanadu.
Yeah.
Legend of
Dave
Xanadu.
D, Bosie, Mick and Titch,
No
isn't
flies
it?
on Danny, are they? Straight off
Sharp,
the tongue.
yeah. Young mind, you see.
That's
true,
what it is,
yeah.
94, a good vintage year, obviously. When were you born, Posty?
A bit before that.
Don't worry, you got nothing on me. I'm a 76 baby. It was a great
Somewhere
drought.
in
It was a great
between, then,
drought
shall we say
year.
that? Yeah, between you two.
Absolutely. My parents always used to say it was the year of the droughts. When you turned up. Okay, all right. We're digressing slightly, Barry. What is the love for Boardman at the moment? 3-1. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah, 4.1. We laid him at 4.3, so he's still steady away. 4-7 Chalet. Line Tower is 5-4, 6-4 Maywake, and it's 17 bar. So the top four at the head of the market, all very strong. It's quite weak outside of that. Mykonos St. John out to 19.5. So it's Boardman out to 4.5 now, taking a bit of a drift. And Chalet's quite strong. He could go off favourite, actually.
Yeah, and there's we can see, look, Nedster, who's a regular with us, welcome back to the show, and says, got to stick with Chalet, price is dropping. Is there a pun in there? I'm trying to think if there is somewhere on the line. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't have my house
I've
on
never
it.
stayed in the show. Very good. Could he blow the roof off? I've never stayed in the chalet. Don't think I've ever stayed in a chalet. I would never a great one for skiing. I would be sledging if I went skiing. Let me just get that out of the way. You love a bit of skiing, obviously.
Yeah, I came to be very late. I only learned about 3 years ago, but yeah, I absolutely love it. Yeah,
because jocks, it's one of their things, isn't it? You've got to be mad to be a jock. You've got to be mad to go down the black.
Done it. Started years ago. Yeah,
really.
My favourite holiday, I'd say now.
Yeah. I love the thought of it, but yeah. Anyway, Chalet, good luck, Nedster out there. And Barry says might just go off favourite. Complete contrast this with what they did with Boardman at Chester. It was like they couldn't get enough of him at Chester. Slightly disappointing, that race for me with This Is Us, of course. Livid about that. And he wasn't.
Did you follow? You followed up in Epsom, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I didn't tip it. No? He pulled up funny, didn't he?
Yeah, he's all right.
He was all right. We were worried about him.
They thought he had broken down, but he didn't, apparently.
Yeah. These old horses just don't really know, but he'll be back to fight another day. I really hope he gets his win. I'd like to see him back at Chester, actually, and maybe with Andrea Razzini realising that there's not another 3 furlongs when he turns for home. Right.
It's glad you're not bitter about it. Anyway.
Massive Andrea Razzini fan, should say that. Who isn't? All right, they're off and running. Let's go to Danny Archer for the call in the 2:35.
Wazano looking very difficult away from the stalls there under Johnny Peake, got his work cut out, but also prominent early is Chalet, who does go out in front. On the outside is Lion Tower. Johnny Peake still nudging along on Azano, but prominent in behind is Mykonos St. John. Ever been to Mykonos?
Never been to Mykonos.
Ever been to Mykonos?
Not for me.
No, not for me either. Boardman also towards the back, but Animal Instinct has now shown good pace to go up alongside Lion Tower, who also looks quite prominent. Happy with Lion Tower's position at the minute, Poste.
Delighted with Lion Tower at the minute. He's got the box seat, hasn't it? And as discussed and mentioned by Barry Orr, they are taking the middle route at York, and the lead is set in blistering fractions.
Chalet's got a turbo on the back here.
What's gone on here, Barry? He's kicked on Chalet.
Yeah, he's gone very early, isn't he? He has them all out at 2.56, 6-4. You can back him out on the exchange. 6 Lion Tower, 3-8 Boardman.
Lion Tower in behind.
He's in trouble now.
Still Chalet out in front. Lion Tower trying to make ground. Also Boardman from the back of the field and Young Fire. Lion Tower looks the one in pole position to catch Chalet, who is still out in front as they come into the closing stages. Still Chalet. Lion Tower still giving chase.
Nedster
also coming
screaming
through
at
is
the
Young
telly.
Fire.
Come on, Lion Tower.
Lion Tower, go on. Still Chalet has about
Come on, Lion Tower.
There's a closer. Young Fire standing
Come on,
Young Fire.
Come on, Lion Tower. Come on, Lion Tower. Get on, yes. Give me that trophy.
You can have it now, man. Oh, that was fantastic. This is why we love this flat game. The finishes are absolutely outstanding, and we got the better of that one. We're absolutely flying, Barry.
Yeah, your runner-up Chalet traded a low at 206 for a little over 100 quid, so around the 11 to 10 mark. I thought he might have traded shorter than that. Was it Young Fire finished second at the finish? He traded a low of 1.47, would you believe? Yeah, 1.47 he traded at, and the winner traded at a high of no, he didn't trade any higher than his 6.4.
Well done, then, guys out there. If you had that, I could see where that came from. Maybe not as under 2's on in running. He went a Young Fire. That's
short, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I think I said in the run, didn't I? We're going to get gubbed.
I think he stays slightly further, doesn't he, Lion Tower? So
Lion Tower definitely deserved that.
Yeah, all right, loves the place. Well, York form, isn't it? Horses, of course, is especially there, I think.
Sensible ride as well, because he could have easily got sucked in when Chalet went clear, you know.
Yes, good point. He just had a little think about it, didn't he? To probably, they say count to 5, don't they, and then go.
Very much
Sam
so,
James has just shone there. So well done if you weighed in with the panellists. There were 3 big ticks for Lion Tower, and he roared all the way down that final furlong. They're getting worse. Okay, where are we going next? That's the question. Is it the Scurry Stakes coming up next, I suppose, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
I'll keep waiting for when we go to Chester. Not yet, are we? Oh, I just love a bit of Chester on this show. It's brilliant.
320 for Chester.
320 for Chester. Talk about horses for courses. Stevie Donohoe, our great friend, is riding one there. Let's hope he fares a little bit better than his last trip to the track. And it's 250 is the Scurry Stakes coming up. And I'm surprised at this, Barry. You're taking on Couture. I thought this would be a lot shorter.
2680 is at the moment. Obviously, he's got his penalty. He was 4-5 when we first went up with this race, so he is weak. It has to be said. He's 2.7 now. I have a couple of horses in here that I've medals for backing. Atta Girl, she's a filly that I've always liked, and Living the Dream I backed last week in the dash in Epsom.
Yeah.
Frankie could get a soft lead in front here and might drop the anchor and. But at the price, I'm going to be against Living the Dream. The one I like in it, Charlie Please, is Illustrating for Kieran Schumacher, and happy to be a price taker here, 11.5. We're going to have 50 quid on her. I'll go back to that race she won in Goodwood last year. She looked a really smart filly that day. She was considered good enough to run the Cheveley Park, where she was 6th to Teneberism. She was beaten 4 lengths on her seasonal reappearance, and I thought that was an all right run. And she would have come on a ton for that as well. I just like she's getting the allowances here too, being the filly and because of her age. And she's in first-time cheek pieces. I think should have listed a bit of improvement there as well. She's a very backable price at that as well, 11.5. So Illustrating for me.
For the Clipper Logistics, they've got always a very strong crop every year, don't they? Okay, Barry taking on the favourite. I think the favourite now is a very backable price, actually, Couture. I think he could have easily turned up at Royal Ascot and got some backers. Whether he'd have won those, another matter. This is a good opportunity for him. I think I've seen some strange results in this race over the years. I'm going to try and get you the SPs of the winners, actually.
I've just seen Batash was 11-1 when he won it.
Wow.
Did Batash win this? 11-20.
2017.
You look down the roll call of honours, actually. I mean, Pearl Secret was 3s on. When he was a good horse, wasn't he, for the Barons? Windfire, I remember her when she was 14 of 14 she won from. The draw is obviously lot said about it on the straight track, isn't it? Especially when it's fast ground, but in this small field you're not too worried about it, are you? No. Who else? Eastern Angel, she was a right old dodgy sprinter. Wardy, of course. Batash, 11-1. Curious was the horse I was thinking of for Henry Candy. Lazuli, actually the last 2 favourites have won because Atalis Bay. The tiny Atalis Bay. Tough. I remember that on this show last year. For Marco Botti. Okay, so it's the fab for me. Now is a very backable price. Danny Archer.
I'm keeping it local. I'm with Team Epsom here. Adam West.
You're an Epsom boy, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Born and bred Epsom. So Adam trains where Terry Mills used to train.
Do you ever see Keels walking his dog?
I haven't. No, I haven't. And
Yeah,
or
tough,
Lee
that
Mottershead walking around Ashton.
Another
Epsom.
local lad?
But no, I think Living the Dream, okay, it's only 7 days on from the dash, but was electric when winning here before. So a repeat of that performance. I deeply respect Couture and look, got £11 to find on the ratings with Couture. But I think with Lanfranco on board, I'm going to be with Living the Dream.
Yeah, he ran well, didn't he?
He ran okay.
They always seem to
last
back
week.
this horse. Okay, 5th in the dash is all right, isn't it?
But I just think, it's a big opportunity for Adam West. Doesn't have many horses.
Yeah,
the
Frankie
owners have
on.
been very good.
I'm just going to click on Adam West while Posty gives us his selection and see how many times Frankie's ridden for the yard.
I'm with Barry, Illustrating for me. Again, when she won at Goodwood, I was really taken with the performance, and she was relatively highly tried after that. Maybe didn't get the greatest run of it at Bath as well, first time back, cheap pieces on. And I just thought at the prices, she maybe offered a bit of value if you're wanting to take the favourite on.
Never mind a horse disappointing at Bath.
Really?
Funny track.
A kidney bean. Ian, I shadowed Ian Bartlett when I wanted to become a commentator once.
Who's going with that then?
And he described it as a kidney bean. Bit of
The
a
shape
weird
of it.
looking, the shape of it is a very weird looking track.
Of course, the only track in the country without
Watering.
watering.
Yeah.
False irrigation, of course, and that's why it's so popular, I think. But
And not a great camera angle, is it?
I just find it very difficult to find
Yeah, you
winners
get the
there.
head. It's almost head on, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
they're running at you.
Yeah, it's a nasty track for our close-up guys
I
to
can
do.
imagine. Yeah.
They always put me on that one for some reason. It's probably what I'm doing wrong in that department. I don't know. Illustrating then for Posty and Barry in this. Carl Burke has had another very good year, isn't he? He got the horse in the Commonwealth Cup, as whose name escapes me. The very good Polytrack horse, Tepito
El
horse.
Caballo.
You're coming to the party. El Caballo.
Well, I'm under pressure, aren't I? I mean, Danny's.
Well, the
I
trophy's
couldn't
nearing you,
remember
which is
that one, yeah.
disappointing. El Caballo.
Caballo, yeah. Caballo.
what are we thinking about the Commonwealth Cup this year? Should we be going for those that have stuck to the sprint route? His form's working out rather well. He won the Sandy Lane, which is a traditional draw.
Go flopped in that, didn't he? Did he fall out the stores?
He loves Ascot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Loves the gaff. And I think Perfect Power will be fab, won't he, I'd imagine?
Yeah.
It's a race, a great race, isn't it, on the Friday?
Is it an easy race to bounce back in from a non-staying effort like with Perfect Power?
Something tells me Muharrar tried when he won it. He was caused a bit of a shock in that. I think he ran in the Newbury trial. The
Greenham.
The Greenham.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know which way do you want to go in that, basically, but it's a race that people love to have a bet in. Of course, Caravaggio winning it, who beat Blue Point that year, didn't he? Some proper horses in that. Have we had a look at the foreign sprinters coming up? Wesley Ward not using Frankie Dettori next week?
No, I guess Irad is riding out of his skin in America.
Do you watch much?
Not masses, but I mean, I know he is the man over there, isn't he? Along with his brother, sometimes Jose. But no, it doesn't. It's not it is and it isn't a surprise. I guess if he's been riding a lot for him out there, it makes sense. But then you're also ditching the King of Ascot.
Do you know what it's quite good to see though? It's good seeing those international jocks coming over.
You're going to say Frankie not getting the West Ward rights. Yeah. Yes, it is, absolutely. Do you remember
but from a punter
Gary Stevens
perspective,
came
you saying
over?
it's a negative, or do you think, or not? I mean, surely a 5 furlong sprint, is it a bigger factor then?
Johnny Velasquez is mustard on him, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In the early days for Wes. Great to see the Australian horses over.
Yeah.
Really good, because it means, certain things are going the right way in the world again. Had Nature Strip, who runs in the King's Stand on Saturday, had he have come over a year earlier, or maybe 2 years ago, would have been the greatest certainty that ever stepped onto that track. But
right.
I'm not a massive Golden Pal fan. I've never really been with him. He obviously been beaten twice when he's come over here. Nutted, of course. Was it the Windsor Castle he was nutted in, or the Norfolk? It was one of the others, wasn't it? But
was Nature Strip the one they were saying that, like you say, if he'd come over at the peak of his powers, but now it's kind of they were kind of saying he'd get beat and then they'll try and smash Australian racing again or something.
Well, it's just they've got a horse called Artorias coming over as well.
Yeah, maybe it was that one. Yeah.
He's decent. I mean, it wouldn't quite be in Nature Strip's league. I used to watch a great deal of Aussie racing, and I cut my teeth down there in the early noughties. But I've just drifted a little bit with it. It's not the time of year over there at the moment, but it's great to see some Chris Waller coverage. Of course, he bought Brazen Bow. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Craig Williams. They thought that was a certainty. Craig stayed on the near side when everything else went far side. Was that undrafted? Might have won that.
Okay.
From memory.
Yeah, Frankie was on that, wasn't he?
And I think I remember the camera was on Chris, and he was just trying very hard. But we've seen Miss Andretti come over and smash them all away for the Freedmans, all that sort of thing, and it's always good banter with the Aussie trainers, isn't it? They tend to tell us what we're doing wrong quite a lot, don't they, and all that sort of stuff. But
I think there was a media morning on Friday where the horses worked. He seemed pretty. Reading the quotes, he seemed quite bullish, Chris, about both. Home Affairs is the other one, I think.
Home Affairs is a Coolmore horse, who would be. He'd be the more Diamond Jubilee. Is it Platinum Jubilee? It's called this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, right. One day
on the Saturday.
On the Saturday, prefer the King Stand or the Diamond Jubilee?
I'm a King Stand.
Yeah,
fan
same.
myself.
Yeah. I'm going to say Diamond Jubilee. I think I've had more luck in it probably, but that's why, isn't it? I think that the Foreign Brigade are going to win the sprints. I'm pretty sure there are. I think we're a little bit light on it. But Twilight Calls, as Barry said, there is more love for that coming, and you get the feeling there's a big one in him. Maybe he is the best. King's Lynn, of course, in it as well, Barry, isn't it? Do you like anything in the sprints at this stage, Barry, or?
In the Commonwealth Cup, I like Go Bears Go. I think back on fast ground is the key to him.
And the track.
And the track, yeah. Obviously he won there in April, didn't he? The Commonwealth Cup trial, actually, he won. In the King's Stand, what was I liking in the King's Stand? I thought, Twilight Calls could go well. It's a bit of a guessing game with the foreign horses in there with Golden Pal and the and Nature Strip. So, I'll be making my mind up about a lot of those races near the time.
Twilight Jet.
I was just going to say that.
There's been
Michael Callahan was giving it big talk about him.
He can win these races, Yeah. I think we're talking about different gravy.
What his level to the main
Home
ones.
Affairs is a very, very good sprinter. Yeah. Nature Strip would be the best that Australia have had for a little while. He's up there in the Longines rankings, isn't he? But
Minista was a horse I was given a chance to in the King's Stand. The filly, the Irish filly. I thought she could go well.
Are we going to get a word with you on track, Barry, or get a lucky 15 for the days you're not with us? You're there on Tuesday, Wednesday. That'd be nice.
Tuesday and Wednesday, yeah, no problem.
Great stuff. All right, good stuff. Right, we're teasing away, but Jake Galway comes back onto the show and says, right then, nap time for me. Coutura. I think he might be just too good for these lot. I'm hoping you're right as they make their way down to the funky Sandown 5 furlong start. Chris Timms comes back on. He's having a good afternoon. Is Tim 2 from 2 at Sandown so far? Hopefully get the hat trick up and maybe closer to that trophy. Tricky race though, small stakes. As we said, there have been some weird results. I mean, Batash, obviously the right horse in the race. What went our favourite in Batash's year? 11-1 he won it out, didn't he, Danny said?
Yeah, crazy.
Let me have a look. I can get it up.
But no, I think I can see the case for illustrating as well. Copper Knight.
Copper Knight, great.
Didn't he always win a handicap at York, didn't he, Copper Knight?
He's just Mr. York, Copper Knight. Yeah.
He's still going, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
Did he win there early in the season? Might have done, mightn't he? Let me have a look. He definitely went close there. I know that. I think I was there that day. I'll get it up. We're waiting patiently as Coutura we see.
Who was Terry Mills' horse that beat Giants Causeway? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Oh, jeez.
I
hate
Kevin
to
Darley.
use it.
Yeah,
Before
came
my
wide.
time.
He specifically stayed wide of him. And
Terry Mills, what a character.
And where or when?
Talking about where or when?
Yeah.
He did. I think I had a right go at Giants Causeway. I don't remember.
And Kevin Darley, he said afterwards that he deliberately stayed really away from him when he challenged him. Yeah.
Kevin Darley, what a
No, that's the only problem with Epsom really at the minute. We haven't. You've got Simon Dow, Jim Boyle, Michael Atwood. We haven't got a standout enough.
Good operators, though.
They're good operators.
They won the
but we
race.
need, 80-1, wasn't it?
No, not Bournemouth.
The other day, Epsom.
Yeah, the one with Ledger.
Oh, and Harbour Law, yeah.
Classic winning trainer.
We could just do with another superstar horse, really.
Yeah.
That's the one thing the town's missing. But
can't keep a good centre down, shall we say? All right. We're digressing. We go looking back and we're looking forward. But right now, it's time to concentrate on the listed race of the day. The first, actually, we've got one at York coming up, haven't we? We go 5 furlongs here for the Scurry Stakes. Who's going to be fastest? Who get the lead? Barry thinks it could well be. Who was it you said might lead, Barry? Let's have a look down. Oh,
Living the Dream.
Living the Dream, yeah, that's it.
Sure to, isn't he?
Yeah, Mitabahi's quite interesting here as they go in the stakes. He's been relatively easy to back, hasn't he? And Get Ahead. Spoke to David Jennings about that. He was expecting the second string of Clive Cox's to win this. So good luck wherever you're playing. Danny, this is Fast and Furious. Fill your lungs.
good start there from Frankie on Live in the Moment. Also prominent early, looks like illustrating on the far side roll. Katira, though, prominent under Adam Kirby, looks nicely settled. A bit keen towards the back of the field is Atagirl, and Mitt Bahi is last, with Get Ahead now moving into second. But Live in the Dream, Frankie out in front, going nicely so far.
Yeah, Barry, you're going to need a run here, aren't you? This is going
Yeah,
going
Frankie's
quite well.
going to stack them, isn't he? Look,
Yeah.
he's just had a little look behind there to 3 furlong pole.
So three furlongs to go. Frankie Slard in front. Get Ahead now in second, illustrating on the roll. Pushed along on the outside is Atagirl. Couture. Adam Kirby's going to need an out
He's
here.
confident,
with
but
Mick Bahi as well on the outside. David Egan still going sweetly, but Frankie leads them as they approach the final furlong, chaps.
Get Ahead then. This is the stablemate of the favourite Poste. You imagine they work at
Kieran
home.
trying to get the run up the inside rail. Has to switch again. Come on.
Here comes Mitt Bahi on the roll. Has Frankie stolen it, or is Mitt Bahi going to
This
come and
Mitt
collar
Bahi's
him for
got
David
this, isn't he?
Egan? Mitt Bahi on the outside.
Couture,
Live in the
really
Moment can offer
disappointing.
no more. And Mitt Bahi runs out a ready winner for Roger Varian. Second, Live in the Dream. And third, Couture.
Funny race that, guys, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Funny race. Oh, Copper Knight, I'm hearing's won today at Chester. Louis McKell tells me. Thank you, Louis. Wow, funny race that, Barry, to watch. And it, again, came sweeping down the outside, no trouble in running at all, unlike some others.
Yeah, I don't know. Illustrating, I think she got her gap when she didn't go through it. I back to the drawing boards with her. I would imagine she didn't trade. She traded short 8.4 in running. Your winner, Mitt Bahi, traded a high of 8.6. Had a Betfair SP of 6.6. But no real in running news. The favourite never traded any shorter than what it traded at pre-race, which was 6-4.
It was a surprising drift, I think, on that for me, because Roger Varian's horses are very often well found in the market, aren't they? And he's got a very progressive sprinter. I mean, he probably got a better run through than Couture. I think we could say that. A bit disappointed with Couture. I know he was giving £5 away, but he was coming back at the finish again, and You can't say he didn't have his chance.
Given his level of form, I know he had to give weight away, but as you were saying, I think illustrating £10 lower, that was the closest to him in the official rating. So you'd have to be disappointed, really.
Another upset then in the Scurry Stakes as we move on then. Roger Varian hoping for a big week, of course, at Royal Ascot with David Egan. We're going to see Mishriff? We're hoping to see Mishriff?
I don't think so, no.
Said not.
From what I haven't seen anything.
Is Baybridge one of the bankers of the week?
Few people are keen to take Baybridge on, aren't they? But I'm not really sure. You know, you've got the Japanese or Sharia. The French have supplemented. The name escapes me at the minute. But that
State of Rest, would that turn up there?
State of Rest,
looks
Choice
like
of O'Brien. And this French horse was supplemented earlier in the week. I'll find the name in a minute once I stop talking. But
I've got to do some previews, so I can't give too much away. And obviously, I'm on the show next week. But I think Baybridge is one of the bankers of the week.
I would be with you.
I mean, he's short price favourite, isn't he, Barry? What price is Baybridge at the moment? We've got. I can tease that Matt Williams is coming on the show on Wednesday, our old Racing Post colleague, and that is going to be fireworks. I spoke to him yesterday, Barry. He said he met you at the Belfry recently for the first time. Sound, Barry, any sound, he said to me. And Matt is on great form. It's going to be really exciting, that, because he is obviously, a pro trader, Barry, and he pretty much thinks that Baybridge is over the line already as well.
Yeah, he's trading at 2.32 in the exchange at the moment. Yeah, State of Rest, I thought could go well there. He's 7.2. I think he's a 6-1 chance on the sports book as well. Might be a whole lot of runners in that race. Probably just 7, maybe 8 out of push.
Can cut up the Prince of Wales Stakes, can't it? I think Barry's right. Yeah, I thought the danger.
I don't think Broome will be going there anyway, and I'd say it'd be too lively for him, the ground.
Broome,
Lord North,
Dave, it's probably Wolverton, isn't he? I think Dave.
I think he's favourite for the Wolverton. Yeah, he is. Yeah. But
we'd all love to see him because he's won that before, of course, when it was pudding the ground.
Grand Glory is the horse. Mikel Barcelona, I'm not that familiar. I won a Group 3 last time.
Sam Hart is in the studio today. He's one of our French experts out there. Perhaps Sam can give us a line on that one if he comes through onto my chat.
Stouty's won 2 of the last 4.
Yeah. Crystal Ocean, Poet's Word, which was the one?
They were the 2.
Yeah. I bumped into Stouty the night after he won it, and he was celebrating. Let's put it that way. And he didn't go and get the trophy from Prince Charles. He gave me a line on that. I can't say it on the show.
Oh, but there was a reason.
You can imagine what it was. Yeah, I think. But he famously sent the lad there because all our guys went down to try and get a word with him. Where is he? Won a million of them. It was kind of a bit like that. I bumped into him in the Complete Angler. I've told this story a few times. Mikey Holding. They loved seeing me, as you can imagine. And that's when I worked out that Sir Michael Stout occasionally talks Bayesian, which he does, which is a really weird thing. Because it's Stouty, you listen to him, don't you, intently, and then when you hear him with a Bayesian accent when he talks to Mikey Holding, it's how many have I had? But great to see Stouty back in the big time, isn't it? Big time.
Yeah, massive.
Yeah.
Especially after all the Shabwell this year and stuff as well, a bit of the negative publicity which he didn't deserve.
I'm told that when Baybridge went down to the start, actually this was told to me yesterday actually, that all the jocks were like, look at that. A Cadillac, who of course Cadillac runs in the week, an absolute boom horse to look at. So if you're there on the Wednesday, make sure you go and have a look at Baybridge. He's supposed to be a beauty. You'll be doing that, Barry?
Yes, I will, Dave. Yeah, I'll go and get a look at him for you.
Yeah, that'll be great. What's the weather doing next week? Set fair, isn't it?
Very hot, I think. Yeah, by the end of the week, 28 degrees.
It's going to rain.
Saturday.
It's going to rain. This time last year, we weren't sure we were going to run. I remember speaking to Barry in the morning on the Friday. We're like, we're going to do the show. We're not sure. What should we do? What do we do? Thankfully, they got it on. But
it's nuts, isn't it?
Thank God as well that we've just forgotten a little bit about the abandonments during racing now. What's your take? I haven't spoken to you about that, Posty.
What with the ground factor?
Race 4 and we're off.
Yeah, I mean it's not good, is it?
Why do you think it is? Do you think? I mean, I wouldn't. No silver bullet answer there, probably, but.
Well, I mean. Yeah, I mean, I cards on the table. I don't know what the answer is. You know what I mean? I'd be speculating, but I mean, I suppose you can either look at it from one point of view that it's just misfortune and it's just in the lap of the gods as such, or you can look at it as mismanagement if you want to take it more harshly, doesn't it? I mean, certain trainers have come out and said that everyone else gets fined heavily when these things happen. And,
Why don't the race courses?
Yeah, but I do know full well. One job I definitely wouldn't want to have within racing is a clerk of the courses job, you know, as in for all that it is frustrating, and maybe in some of these situations they are to blame.
Armchair clerks, as Bruce Millington calls them.
I wouldn't want to do it for diamonds, you know.
Yeah.
It's a job with no thanks, really.
And poor old Kirkland up at Haydock gets pelters, doesn't he? But there's a reason why Kirkland's been put at Haydock, because it is a law unto itself up there. We go to Chester then, one of those abandoned courses at 3:20. But right now, let's home in on the 3:05 at York. We've just had a listed race over 5, Barry. We're stretching out to a mile 6 here.
Yeah, I was fancying Mandu. When you start talking there, Dave, he was 7-4. He's into 6-4 now at 2.52. He's 4.5 Camari without a 5.8. It's 11.5 Yukon Glen. John Lepper's not without a chance. Just 1 of 2 Ryan Moore rides today. But yeah, Mandub, second time after a wind up. I thought the race behind El Azi, that was a cracking run. It's worked out a really decent race. The third has won since, and the fifth should have gone in. Met all sorts of trouble in Newbury in his next run. So form of the race is working out well. He's a real good yardstick as well, El Azi, obviously. So 50 quid win we're going to have here, Charlie, on Mandub at 6-4. We'll be a price taker here because the price is really crashing now. So we'll take 2.56 is what he's trading at the moment.
Universal Order is the horse you're talking about, of Dave Simcox.
Yeah, he was a good second to contact in Haydock. It was, yeah. But he got no sort of run that day. Like he went into everyone's notebook, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's doubly entered at Royal Ascot next week. He's in the Wolverton. He's in the handicap as well. The Duke of Edinburgh. Love those marks.
Third round, the third round was the other horse that won, and he was sure to rock up in Ascot handicap.
Yeah, you know, they can win these, of course, can't they? Juan Elcano, do you remember, was the Wolverton winner last year, wasn't he? Of course, those colours are represented here with Without a Fight for the Crisfords, Simon and Ed, Andrea Atzini. What do we like here? I'm with Barry. I think this will probably win Mandub.
I thought this was Nap of the Day, Mandub. I think we were on together.
Is this a four-way play?
Yeah.
We were on together when he was second to
This is Desert Crown.
It is a Desert Crown moment. And he ran a screamer, didn't he?
He did run a screamer.
Win surgery, and I think he'll be tough to beat.
We were chatting about this on some feature shows yesterday, and we thought this was one that we had surprised that Shadwell had cast off, if you like.
Yeah.
Obviously, Brian Meehan not training for Shadwell anymore, and this is very progressive also, Brian. He came a long way quickly last year, didn't he? 6-4 was getting skinny, isn't it? But I don't like Kamari. He was one of my touches of in fact, one of my only I didn't have a very good Royal Ascot last year, punting-wise, and Kamari was one of my touches. But that Queen's Vase form, I mean, Wordsworth, I know Barry says he's probably going to be a hot pot in the Queen Alexandra if he goes there. That is finally the right trip for him.
Yeah.
But that form just hasn't worked out last year's Queen's Vase. He's got on a line through Mandub. There's a horse called Stowell who ran in that race. Kamari ought to be giving him something to think about, but he's disappointed.
And I thought he was very flat in Meydan when he was well backed.
They were talking about Melbourne Cup for him, weren't they? You know, and all that sort of stuff. And
he hasn't really gone on from the Royal Ascot win, but no. So I thought Mandub was quite tough to oppose. John Leaper, was a talking horse for a very long time, wasn't it?
I thought he was marginally interesting, if I'm honest.
He's always marginally interesting.
Yeah. But if you were looking for something,
you won't find a better bred horse anywhere, will you?
No.
You know, Frank out a Ouija board. And he's just has become too keen for my money.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And the back down in trip, aren't we, today?
And Ryan's keeping the faith with him, as Barry mentioned. And Ed Dunlop back amongst the winners. And
the race at Sandown's impossible.
Well, that was a weird race at Sandown because, like I said, perhaps the ride of the season for me, Quickthorn. Brilliant Tom Mark 1 thinking straight away from that wide draw. And I think anything that ran in that was disappointing, you give it another chance.
You would.
And he was a bit eye-catching at Chester, wasn't he? But
he has had a lot of chances.
You want to see it. Yeah, absolutely. I suppose around about 8-1 you can keep on your side. Yukon Glen for Paul Keeley out there. One of Bruce Millington's favourite horses, Yukon Glen. That's what you will be shouting in commentary. Come on, Glenn, you can.
So it's you can, not you can.
Well, it's Yukon, of course, isn't it? Blue Riband.
Yeah.
West Arsley.
Exactly.
Ilsley.
West Arsley.
It's definitely West Arsley, I'm telling you. I used to work down there.
You're one of these people when you're around a certain company, you obviously try and turn it on, do you? That,
You've nailed me.
Yeah.
I absolutely
If you were in Ascot, it'd be Blue Riband for sure.
I am dreadful on the phone. In restaurants, I tend to morph into whatever cuisine I'm eating. I come out speaking the language, I'm terrible. My wife goes mad at me. Obviously, You should see me ordering in a Chinese restaurant. It's bordering on embarrassing. But when I was away and travelled, you can imagine me. They say, don't you keep your English accent when you go to the States? Not me.
No.
Australia, disaster.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thailand, nailed it. I tell you what, you've nailed me there. You're quite right. And when I'm in certain company, I can put on the voice. Of course.
I can only. You slipped into it there.
I'm very good with mother-in-laws and all that sort of stuff. There you go. I just did it then. Okay, they're going down to the start. Mandoob, a warm order for us out there. Is it for you? Keep your social interactions coming on. We're around about T-minus 40 minutes away from the last. Sam Hart, who's in the gallery for us today, talking about your horse out there, trained by Gianluca Bertolini. Come on, Sam, do me a favour. But it's Grand Glory, the mare, who's been supplemented, has she?
Yes.
Sam says, won a listed race in France at the start of the season, beating Ebor, who we all know, because she was third in the Dahlia Stakes, won by Dreamloper, who's obviously in the Nassau Hope, isn't it? Won in good time last time. Potentially wants a bit of give in the ground, taking advantage of the fact it's a small field. She's no Sibla Spain. With a wink emoji, says Sam. Sibla Spain is another one of my big hopes, and Sam, he knows a bit about Christopher Head, the trainer. That's coming over. I think the Duke of Cambridge is ripe for the taking.
Right.
I'm on Mother Earth there. I know she might be, but I think I read Aidan said she could do a bit more cover. She didn't get a lot of cover last time out. And
that
maybe
was immediately
that race,
after that race, yeah.
I thought it was between her and Saffron Beach. Someone's laughing at me. I can understand why.
You can hear the gallery. I'm not sure if Barry could hear that or you out there, but the gallery are falling over themselves laughing. It's, I don't know, Sibla Spain, I think, is in the Duke of Cambridge. But you like Mother Earth.
I had it between Mother Earth and Saffron Beach.
She's such a likeable filly, Mother Earth, isn't she? I really like her.
Well, she's another of these Ballydor fillies. Like, she gets campaign, she goes everywhere.
She was the saddlecloth one, wasn't she? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
As a 2-year-old. But she won the Guineas, obviously, and it's great to see these fillies come back, actually, and stick around. And you forgive her the Baid one, wouldn't you? It's definitely a drop in class. For her, we're talking about Royal Ascot, of course, which is on the horizon next Tuesday. You can join us at 2 p.m. every day next week. We'll be covering them. Don't you worry about that. And it's the place to be to find out where your money went, basically, and get all the best tips in the business. The coverage of Racing Post is going to be insane. And it pretty much starts on Monday. Decks out tomorrow, of course, the Tuesday on 10:30. Cannot wait. Favourite meeting of the year, says Barry. Favourite meeting of the year, Barry?
Yeah, 100%. Love it. Great meeting. Everything about it. Just fantastic. You get the best horses, and it's not that big lead up like you have for Cheltenham, and it's quality racing, and we get to see the horses again throughout the season. That's not the end of it. After Ascot, they go on. They still campaign them, don't they? You look forward to Goodwood then, and you have an autumn campaign for some of them too. So, yeah, I think it's a fantastic meeting. It's great to be able to go there as well.
Off and running then at York. We'll go back to Barry's thoughts on that. At Ascot coming up. Barry there, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday with us for the final 3 days. Can't wait to see what some of his big juicy days will be. But we are hoping...
Nothing looks crazy to lead here, does it?
No. Kamari's got a very soft lead then, Danny.
Yeah, Kamari out in front, but doesn't look as if William Buick is unbelievably happy to be leading, but Mandoob in second. Yukon Glen slightly keen on the inside. Without to fight, John Leaper at the back of the field.
The fight will be leading in a minute.
Yeah, he's putting his way through, isn't he? I'll tell you what, John Leaper has settled here.
Yeah.
Hang on. What price John Leaper in the run, Barry, at the moment?
8.0. That was his BSP as well. Money came from.
They're crawling here, and he's settled all right. Unlike Mandoob, who's now a little bit lit up. Yukon Glen wants to go faster, of course. A horse that's only just trying to test his mettle as a stayer. Nothing worse than Without a Fight at the moment, who ran really well last time, actually. And the outsider of the lot for Brian Ellison, Ben Robinson, in first-time cheap pieces, is One Smooth Operator from one to another.
But still out in front. Kamari going nicely. Without a Fight is definitely a bit keen along with Yukon Glen. Mandoob seems okay, and as you say, John Leaper has settled nicely at the back of the field for Ryan Moore, but this is going to turn into a bit of a sprint.
That won't bother John Leaper, He's definitely got to turn a foot. It's all about settling with him. He's taken Mandoob back a little bit now, guys.
He definitely is taking him back. Yeah, I think he was worried that Sean Levy was worried that he was getting slightly lit up and was anxious to make sure that he had enough cover. And like you say, at the moment, it's very much a case of William Buick dictating terms exactly to suit himself.
Yeah, John Leaper looks like the one they're coming for a bit, Barry, to my eyes.
He's 6.8. Your favourite still Mandoob at 2.96. 3.7 Kamari. He's around the 11 to 4 mark. So, yeah, John Leaper's into 6.4 now, but one in front still travelling.
Yeah, Kamari, and it's where you want to be, isn't it, when there's a pedestrian pace. They turn in Danny Archer.
Still Kamari out in front by about a half length, 2 Without a Fight in second. Yukon Glen has still been keen on the inside, 4 Paul Mulrennan in third. Mandoob about a half length behind. Then a length back to One Smooth Operator, and still at the back, ridden cold by Ryan Moore, is John Leaper as they now turn into the home straight.
Speed, is he?
Mandoob this isn't great for him, I don't think. The waist is right. Interestingly, they're sticking to the far side this time. You just never know at York, do you? Watch John Looper then. Here comes Mandoob. He's running fine, isn't he? But you want to be up front here, and it looks like Buick's kicked, does he?
William Buick looks to have stolen it on Kamari. He's trying at least Without a Fight, giving chase in second. Will with his keen pulling early.
They're coming clear.
Problem, but still Yukon Glen staying on One Smooth Operator in the back. John Leaper has found nothing. Has been in last and stays in last. Without a Fight, though, now goes on by about a length from Kamari, and Without a Fight staying on strongly. John Leaper finally getting it together for Ryan Moore on the inside, but Without a Fight still out in front. Kamari, John Leaper is absolutely thundering home to finish second, but it's going to be all over because Without a Fight is going to win for Andrea Azzini. Second for John Leaper. Yukon Glen in third.
Well named also, I think, that post. We'll come to you in a second because there wasn't much of a fight from anything that the winner had to face. Barry?
No, there certainly wasn't. Kamari put up a bold showing, I suppose, off in front. 1.76 he traded at in running. That was the lowest he went. John Leaper, who only got going late on, didn't he? And he's passing tired horses, I suppose. He traded at a low of 3.9, but your winner Without a Fight, he's always struggled to settle, hasn't he? And he even struggled to settle today. I thought he was going to make the running, but he did anchor him somewhat. He had a Betfair SP of 5.75, so you could probably mark him up on that. When he does learn to settle properly, he's a decent tool.
That's a boost for Ilarab from the winner as well. Ilarab, I'm expecting. Are we seeing Ilarab next week? A Scope obviously was in that race, wasn't he, last time at Newbury as well. So Mandoob was just, even despite the lack of pace, he's coming back again, isn't he? It wouldn't be the worst one in the world now, but a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, as in it was. I think Andrea Azzini did a really good job because the horse could have hooked off with him and ended up making the running, but he managed to get him back and still have that prominent sit, which I think was crucial there because once they got into the straight and William Buick let the handbrake off, they got a break on them and it gave them an advantage that one of the two was never going to relinquish. And yeah, good ride, good race riding there. And John Leaper going to suck everyone in again next time, isn't it? But he's one of these horses that you run him over longer and he looks like he wants shorter, and shorter he looks longer. He's a bit tripless to my mind.
I dare say betting shops all over the land will be cursing the Moore factor there because Ryan's just an easy target. We should say he's hostage to fortune on this horse, isn't he? He has to hold him up because otherwise he'd just blow his race in the first couple of furlongs. So,
well, I mean, I'm going to say they're trying to rebuild the horse, but I don't know what they're actually building. Do you think he could have
gone a tad sooner?
I don't think. I mean, look, he slotted him in, got him switched off, which I'm sure would have been the main objective of this. And then once he's done that and dropped in, there's nothing worse than changing your race mid-race, and he stayed on well. But I think the horse is just a loser. There
was a horse called Time's Up who late John Dunlop, Ed's dad used to train. He was a really good stayer, and I bet he goes on the same sort of path. There's a listed 2-mile race at Newmarket. I bet my coattail on the fact that John Leaper will be turning up there. It looked like he wanted 2 miles now, didn't it? So, look, some disappointments there. We were all on Mandoob. Bubble burst. Well done. If you were with Andrea Azzini, Simon and Ed Chris, a big boost for them going into Royal Ascot Without a Fight then. And we go back to our final race at York in around about half an hour's time, just over that actually. It's finally time, Barry, to go to Chester.
Go to Chester, yeah. Just to wrap up there on that, Without a Fight introduced into the Ebor betting at 14-1, if anyone's interested. But here in Chester, Outgate your favourite at bang on 3-1, 4.0 on the Betfair Exchange. Thunder Legend 6, it's 12 Bullet Force. Woodington is 11.5, 10 Roman Dragon. I like Bullet Force in the please, Charlie. If you'll do the honours for me.
Of course.
He dropped a pound for a good fourth last time out in the York handicap on good to soft ground over a mile. Probably just doesn't stay a true mile race. So I think if this turns into a bit of a sprint sometimes the way these Chester races can, I think the trip is ideal for him here. So Bullet Force 16, what price is there now? 12. Yeah, happy to be a price taker here. We're going to have 25 quid win, and we're going to look in the 3-place market as well, where he's currently trading around 3.6. We'll have 25 quid on that as well. That's around the 11-4 mark. So, yeah.
Bullet Force for Ross Orion, Carl Burke and Ammo Racing. The likes of Go Bears Go and huge ammo going into Royal Ascot because very expensive 2-year-olds that have been running well. What wins this, Danny? It's a Chester fan or is it? It's a Marmite track.
I don't mind Chester. I'm with the favourite actually Outgate just based on the last run. You know, between behind Who Put 50 in You and Mighty Ulysses, a previous winner over course and distance for the scientific approach of the Kublers. They were very interesting guests, I think, on a show recently where they discussed their training methods. And, you know, they're doing very well, and hopefully he can be a bit of a stable star for them going forward.
Had Izzy Phillips on the show, you'll know, won't you?
Yes,
I know she does the race day stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has, yeah.
She put this up, I remember, last time, and it ran in that race, and it rewarded each way support there. He's drawn in 2, isn't he? He's got Chester form. Lots to like about it, I think. I just wondered whether a mark of 93 Poste was high enough for him now, but he's got Richard Kingscote on as well, another big plus.
And especially around Chester.
Exactly.
Well, you know, yeah. I mean, I've gone dirty old town. I think he likes to dominate, but he's got the one draw, run really well at Musselburgh on his penultimate start behind Spirit Catcher, and then flopped at Haydock where he sort of sat midfield. It was a bit sulky. He does have an inconsistent profile, but I think, you know, drawn in 1, if he can get out well and get on the speed early, he could outrun his price.
Where were you drawn when you won your 5 furlong race around Chester?
It was a masterpiece. I think I was very wide, you know.
Where were you actually drawn?
Oh, I can't remember.
Can't you? Really?
No.
I thought that's the sort of thing that might stick
ago.
with you, you know. But still one, obviously, Chester. If you don't know much about Chester, which I'm assuming everyone pretty much does out there, it's like a dinner plate. And the lower you are, the better you are. Barry going for one in stall 8, which is interesting. I'm going for stall number 3 with Thunder Legend for Stevie Donahoe and William Haggis. Beaten favourite last time, but this third time up, I think, would be peak fitness and just maps to get a great run round. And I thought should be a bit shorter in the market without Gate. So I thought it was pretty solid, actually, this chap. Posty, which one did you go for? Dirty Old Town. That's a Grant Chua double then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The Lion Towers trainer, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all over that Grant Chua today. Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got 5 minutes till this race at Chester. We seem to beam into Chester now and then. Might have a go at Chester on this show next year, all being well. It's some May festival, that isn't it? They're coming for loads of stick, haven't they? Obviously about how they handled the crowd. With the response to the it's all on the BHA basically, didn't they? They came out afterwards and amended that, didn't they? The statement of bad PR. That
Yeah,
one.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, treating them a little bit with disdain. The race going. It's not cheap to get into Chester, is it?
Did you talk to the night where I think did they offer refunds or they certainly offered money back to all the trainers with entries?
Terrible incident. That
yeah,
wasn't it?
but I mean the horse is all right though. Thank
Yeah.
goodness. So which is great. The horse of Alistair Rouse.
No one really knew what was happening. There was a bit of miscommunication.
Yeah.
It went very quiet, didn't it? I remember seeing a thread that was going on here at the Racing Post about that. So, OK, right, let's get some socials up, shall we? Let's get them on. For this race coming up, let's have a look. George Murray. Oh, here we go. Dave Orton. Celavi. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah. You should see me in Essex morph very quickly into a native there. Thank you, George, for that. Mighty Gomez. Yeehaw! I Cowboy Justice, y'all.
Well, it's interesting, the Irish
Jesse
Raider.
Harrington.
You know, you've got to respect to Jesse Harrington horse coming over. Good second.
These are the Cadillac colours, aren't they?
Yeah.
Drawn
Stall
10.
10?
Yeah.
What's this doing over here? I think it's got on the truck with a couple of Ascot wannabes. Wouldn't come over already, would they, for that? Surely not.
No.
What's this doing?
The horse that beat it last day, one of Joseph O'Brien's, they think will go well in the Britannia.
Which is called...
Tentia.
Oh, interesting. So we get a lot. So we're going to get some Britannia form here, aren't we? Because we've got the Who Put a 50 in You, or whatever it's called, the unbeaten machine, and also this is interesting. These quite interesting colours. These. Who is it? Oh, it's the Foleys that own it, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Okay. A son of Caravaggio. So we'll be looking for boosts here. Good luck wherever you play. I love Chester. It's great fun, isn't it? Brilliant fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't stand it as a track
Really?
to bet on. Yeah, just probably.
Track to bet on.
Which the more hard luck stories Chester than anywhere else, dare I say?
Goodwood.
Goodwood's a shout. Goodwood's a shout. Going to Glorious Goodwood this year, are you?
Yep.
Panama.
No.
Don't you wear you'll wear obviously a top hat next
Yeah, I'll
week.
do
You
that.
won't
I
wear
won't
a Panama.
No.
All right.
Maybe someday.
Might want to read the dress code. Might want to read the dress code. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been there for a long time. Sammy's in the studio. It's his local track, and it's just that's good. It is, the most beautiful race course when the sun shines, isn't it?
Yeah,
Don't you think?
it's a great atmosphere. Yeah, really
We're looking
chilled
forward to
out.
that. We're covering that all week as well. Derby second, Who Ya Mile, we're hearing, has just been supplemented for the King Edward VII Stakes on the Friday.
So he's supposed to be getting sold, isn't he, on the online sale before?
Oh,
Royal
yeah,
Ascot?
yeah, on the Monday. You look out for that. Look at this. Look at this. What's on screen here? Tommy Orr. And he's agreeing with the great man as well. This isn't a relation, is it, Barry?
Not that I know of. I did have an Uncle Tommy, but he passed away a long time ago.
We should just give a mention, Barry, to what you did this morning, of course. I imagine a very popular gathering, of course, that you went to this morning.
Yeah, it was the funeral mass for Michael Rafferty, who'd be better known to a lot of people online on Twitter as Analog's daughter. He used to post up pictures of historical races and horses and just engage people in his own intimate way. He passed away, unfortunately, during the week, and he was buried this morning. Yeah, Analog's daughter. So R.I.P. Wasler was his nickname, the Wasler. So
he was a mate.
He was a good old skin, very numeric, really good Clark. But back in the days when it was penciled and a ledger, he was red hot.
I have to say, I never met Michael, but there was a lot of outpouring of love for him on social media, and of course, we all know that account, don't we? You know, so it will be sorely missed.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Proper jumps,
a
man.
good look back into the past, and as you say, it was a very prominent account. You know, had a lot of followers, a lot of people got involved, and yeah, it's very sad news.
Yeah, sad news. All the thoughts with the family out there. Okay, let's move on, shall we, here on Racing Post Live, as Ainsley Harriott gets
Is he ready, steady, cook
somehow.
at Chester?
Ready,
That
steady?
wasn't a very good one, was it?
No.
Can't think of another Ainsley Harriott punt.
Ainsley Harriott was in the news recently. It was his sister fell into a pond at Chelsea Flower Show.
What news do you read?
Did you not see that?
No, I didn't.
She's all right, we should say, but it was like it's a very bizarre story. But he'd be a good character, wouldn't he, to get into racing?
Was he
Ainsley?
green
No,
peppers
he's
or
all
red
right, isn't he?
tomatoes?
Yeah, he is a good
You can't dislike Ainsley
Yeah.
Harriott, can you? He's just a good egg, isn't he? He's
I'll
fun.
take your word for it. I don't know.
A good egg? No. All
Yeah.
right.
No, I missed
Okay,
we lost
missed
out
that
on
one. And Tommy Orr, Barry's relative, the guys in the saying, yeah, okay, with bullet falls as well as we bring it back. That sale on Monday that they do.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to that?
Literally, I think it's like by invitation only because
Yeah.
it's at Hampton Court, isn't it? And
Is it?
Is it there?
I've seen a lot of
Yeah, it
footage
is,
from it.
and I think like it's 200. Like there's no like 205. You know, it's 200 people because of the security around it, and that's it. So I don't think you can just pitch up. But
the great and good of the of the buying world.
I think you have to be providing significant proof that
Guitar
your
racing
intention
usually
to
like
buy
go for
something.
one,
Yeah,
don't they, and things like that.
and it's like for anyone that doesn't know, it's been going a few years now, and they offer a few sort of choice lots. Some of them with Royal Ascot entries that you can buy, like the Derby second.
Who Ya Mile? He ran a blinder, didn't he?
Will he still go to sale there, do you think?
Well, maybe not.
Obviously, the
Barry.
catalogue's done before the Derby, but I'd say he'll be withdrawn.
I mean, certainly the chat when I was at Goffs last week with Joey Cullen, and that was that they were very much thinking that the intention was that he was going to be sold at the sale. But like you say, maybe they've had to change their heart about it.
What was the other horse?
I know the owners, again, they had the
Khalifa
horse.
Sat, wasn't it?
And he ended up, I think he ended up having a tendon injury. They got offered a lot of money for him, like
Did they?
a lot of money, and they turned it down.
Sort of horse that could probably, tear it up down under, isn't it? That sort of horse.
Yeah, and then they all got offered a lot of money, turned it down. He got injured and was never really seen again. I think
And which would he
he's
go
standing
for, Charlie, if he goes to auction?
he'd go for well over £1 million.
Would he?
Yeah. I'd say so.
Whew, fireworks
I'd say
expected.
you'd have to. Sure, like Derby second, like yeah. I mean, he's by territories, I think, as well. So in theory, he should improve again for
Andre
slower
Farr,
ground.
Godolphin
Yeah,
side,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'd say there's a chance he could go for that much. Mate.
It gets good coverage as well, doesn't it, that sale? And obviously, we'll be reporting on it. On
Well, it's a
the
bit of a
Tuesday
gimmick,
paper.
isn't it? But it's it offers something.
Has anything ever won? I'd probably say no. That's
Done the double, being sold at the sale? I don't think so.
Don't think so. You often get horses that can run in the Coventry the next day, can't you? And things like that. I seem to remember Joe Lyons' colt I fancied one year that got bought.
Do you like
Roman
stuff like
Dragon being well supported here.
Really? Okay, let's
1.6
bring it
now.
back to Chester. Thank you, Barry. Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? Roman Dragon, of course. Hugo Palmer, Franny Norton.
The other king of Chester, along with Charlie,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, Franny. I think Franny's a little bit higher up the pecking
Did you
order,
coach
mate.
him?
Oh, he's a bit old for me to coach.
Well, let's see how he gets on. So the punters putting their faith in Manor House. Is it Manor House or Manor Farm? Always
Manor
get that
House.
one wrong. Manor House, all right. And off we go. And we are racing away. And you're looking for your early pitches if you're drawn wide, aren't they? Bullet Force taken straight in. It's good handling that, actually, by Ross Orion. Got a nice pitch. He's a little bit lit up. But Who's in front then, guys? Is
Roman
it the
Dragon.
aforementioned? Yeah, of course, Franny. It's around Chester, and he's going to take all the catching, isn't he? Stevie Donno got a lovely pitch on the inside, Danny Archer.
Yeah, going very nicely. As long Outgate also prominent under Richard King, so this will be better watching for Michael Owen than obviously watching his daughter on Love Island, I would imagine. But Roman Dragon is prominent along with Point Linus. Following through then is Thunder Legend. Outgate then on the inside. Also quite prominent going nicely is Spirit Catcher, one of the outsiders for the Johnstons. But as they continue to turn, it's still with 4 furlongs to go. Going nicely out in front and settled is Roman Dragon. But you'd be happy with the likes of Outgate, who's prominent in behind, along with your pick here, Dave, Thunder Legend.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that, and I'm happy that I'm going to get first run on Outgate. Posty, what's catching your eye? You're going all right.
I'm going all right, but not really the way I thought the race was going to pan out. But yeah, still seemingly travelling all right at Dirty Old Town as they swing round towards the 2-pole.
We're all on the rail here. Roman Dragon, Thunder Legend, and an Outgate is following through under Richard Kingston. Looks
I'm
like
the
the Irish
first off the
Raiders got a
bridle
lot to do. Roman Dragon, Franny's kicked for home. Following through now is Thunder Legend.
Go on then, Stevie!
Donahoe. Richard Kingston now getting into top gear.
Go on,
Outgate.
Stevie!
It lies between these three, you'd say.
You might
Roman
pick me up
Dragon
here.
out in front. Thunder Legend and Outgate coming. Outgate and Thunder Legend go on. Outgate sticks his game head in front, and Outgate's going to win for the Kublers. In second place, Thunder Legend just. Ammo Racing coming through. Bullet Force in third. But a success for the Kublers.
That was a lovely call there, Danny, and fair play to you. You stuck with the fav, and he's got the job done. He should have right turn of foot there, Barry, didn't he? You've flown home. Next time for Bullet Force.
It's a typical Chester, isn't it? Drawn 7, had to drop him in. Just nearly last turning into the straight. Talk about just another horror story in Chester. It happens all the time. But the winner's drawn 2, obviously. And he stuck it out well. Yeah, he's matched. He didn't trade any higher in running, really. The Betfair SP at 3.5. Full of Force traded at a low of 4.0. What else was in there? John Egan's horse flew home as well at the finish. Woodington.
Which one was
traded a low of 10, but
Horse Andrew Boldens.
Woodington, yeah, for the Staffords. So stall 2 beats stall 3. Bullet Force flying in that first time Visey. Next time out. But again, could he be one of those? I'm not sure.
Hey, you wouldn't be Cowboy Justice, like he was last turning into the straight Cowboy Justice, and you wouldn't want to be paying his ferry fee over. That's bringing them home. It's a very disappointing run.
It's
never put into contention.
That was a strange one, wasn't it? It was indeed. From stall 10, I guess Shane Foley had to take his medicine a bit. But, it's just wonderful, isn't it, calling these? That was a proper turn of foot there. And that is, of course, the Britannia form that we were talking about beforehand being well advertised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that Who Put 50 in You is probably a serious contender for that. I mean, Mighty Ulysses still gets on the St James's Palace, but Outgate, very progressive, and obviously got a jockey on board who's riding at the top of his game in Richard Kingston.
Who Put 50 in You then? The form boosted for that in the Britannia Stakes, the 3-year-old Hunt Cup, of course.
I do like one in there, Bolt Hole, for Michael Bell. Jamie Spencer's booked. Won nicely.
Last time out winner?
Yeah, won nicely at Newmarket last time. It's got the same mark of 90, which Astilio had when he obviously bolted up in it. So I thought at a bit of a price, Bolt Hole, around 16-1 in the Buckley colours.
It's a brilliant race, that. Mm-hmm. It's just, I can't remember last time I backed the winner in it. No. It is so hard to find. I mean, the Roonies have got Who Put 50 in You. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
I will stick with that sooner rather than later, before the Britannia, hopefully. They had another horse that won the Silver Bowl at Haydock. Can't remember what it was called in those colours, and he went off favourite for that and blew out. You've got to hope that they get down to start in one piece, don't you? And you've got to be drawn in the right place.
Yeah.
Memories of Astro King last year, Barry, when you won the race and what everyone thought was the place you had to be on the stand side. It was all there. And then he, of course, bumped into Real World, who could have started probably, 5 miles earlier and still got picked you up there. You need some luck, don't you?
Yeah, you really do. And, that was a bitter pill to swallow last year. And obviously, Real World's gone on, and he's been a revelation. The horse, that was an impossible task, really, that Astro King had last year. He's still ahead of the betting, would you believe, for the Hunt Cup this year. I couldn't have him myself. I think he's well exposed now, Astro King. There's plenty of lurkers in there.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, fair enough. It was that Thirst Hunt Cup, wasn't it, where he rattled home and Barry put it up way out, just touched off. We've got one more race to come then on terrestrial TV this afternoon. That means we also follow it on Racing Post Live as well. And it's a tricky looking sprint as we see the Betfair SP there of Outgate. Well done if you weighed in with Danny and that Haydock form. He won very well there. Where would he go next, do you think? Could he be a Cambridgeshire horse?
Potentially. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. And he was staying on at the line, wasn't he? I know that's 7.5.
What was he off today? 90.
93.
Yeah.
Going to get in off that, aren't you? Yeah, towards the back end. The autumn double, of course, with the Cesarewicz. Okay. And
Bunbury Cup.
Bunbury Cup's a shout. The July meeting, of course. Is, when does that come back into force? Next weekend, isn't it? Usually on Royal Ascot Saturday.
I think I think it might be, yeah.
James Fanshaw always lays out a few for that. All right, one more to come then. It's at York. It's the Catherine Memorial Handicap. And always, Barry, these horses are pointed from an early stage in their 3-year-old careers towards this. It's 50 grand to the winner. Who do you like?
Yeah, Ingrator's heading the betting at the moment. Got £9 for absolutely dancing in Newmarket. The Betfair weighed in podcast race at that one, and he was mightily impressive. But £9 is it's enough for me. And some of those races, the form in Newmarket from Guineas Weekend hasn't worked out at all. Really, some of those handicaps. After that, Showtime Mahomes is 9.6, 9.8 Harry 3, Roach Power 13.5. Whole host of horses in there. Obviously, Dave. The one I like is Showtime Mahomes, though, was a course and distance winner last day from a good draw. Was drawn 1. He's drawn 16 and 17 this time around, I think. And I like that draw here today. I think there's a lot of pace around there, up that side, up the stand side. And the race has really worked out. You have the reopposing Devastate in there. The third Latin Lover has won since, and the fifth Azure Blue has won since. He's 17 and 19 he's drawn here. And I like that. So we're going to have 50 quid win on him. We're going out with all guns blazing here. 9.6. Happy to be a price taker here at 9.6. 50 quid win. Showtime Mahomes.
There's been money for him, of course, and it is another Grand Tour horse on the day. Already had a winner there. Beat Devas last time from stall 1, which is no mean feat at York. Let me tell you, I had a tete-a-tete with Rodway once about that being a terrible draw in sprints. He said, what you on about? And if it hadn't have been in this race for Anaf, I would have quite fancied Anaf here for Michael Appleby. He's in stall 1, basically, as my reference. And it's been good money for Anaf, hasn't there? I think, Barry? Yeah,
there certainly has, Dave. He's 8.4 now. He has been as high as around the 25 mark on the exchange. So, yeah, he's been really well supported.
Yeah, and one of many horses that would have been pinpointed towards this, and he has got some interesting form. Who do we like then, guys?
Go on, Charlie, after you.
Gisburn for me, he's been a disappointing horse, but I think he probably, this is form again with Divast. I think it's fair to say he might have maybe should have won at Leicester.
He should have won.
Start,
He should have won. Sean just dropped his rein, didn't he? Got unbalanced.
Yeah.
Sean Levy.
I don't think this flatter track is a negative either, and he's also that's been probably highly regarded for quite a bit of this early sort of stage of his career, and yeah, Richard Hannon sounds quite bullish about him as well, So yeah, in a very open race, Gisburn for me.
Yeah, he caught the eye on his return at Goodwood, that chap, and he needed it. He hung across the track there, and just £2, but he should have won last time out from stall 5, I think, which will be quite good. Danny.
I'm just with the Mitch Hannon here. I was, as I said earlier, I was on when he spoke about Ingrator, and obviously thinks could be a group horse in the making. So Ada Kazia, who was a listed winner herself, impressive in beating Harry 3. And I would give a shout to that Devasta. The only thing last time he was thundering home when he just pinned Gisburn last time out. So I had a bit of I know he's off a low weight here, it might be worth one at a bigger price, but Ingrator would be the main one for me.
For the Kent stable, who always seem to have a good horse every year on these Saturday races they can have. And once again, we're agreeing.
Okay.
Rock solid. And I think you need a pattern class sprinter to win this. He probably is one, I think. And that Newmarket race that he won tends to be the leading point towards this. His form has a very strong look about it, says Jack Mix, son and assistant. A very progressive horse. Nearly everything he's beaten and finished around him seems to have won, which is already encouraging. He beat Harry 3, who we saw on this show, winning at Newmarket next time out. He's got the draw, Rob Hornby on. Westover's Jock. Oh, he must have gone. That was a slow journey back for Rob, wasn't it? Wouldn't have beaten the winner, would he? But
do you attach blame to him with that or not?
No, but he would have just been gutted, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I agree. But I think you can be gutted when you think you've got it wrong, and gutted just because you got beat, if that makes sense. I think it's different, isn't it?
He should have been clear second, shouldn't he?
Yeah,
at least he was really trapping at the finish, Westover as well.
If he retains the ride for like you say, for the Currer, you'd think it would be made to measure for him.
Yes, fair play, and he had a double in the week as well at Kempton, so a bit of a boost for
Harry
Rob
3. Can he turn the form around here or not?
He did well to win at Newmarket last time because he was on the rail and he had to switch off, and you know what it's like. You need the rail on that rolly course, don't you? And again, it's Cox's, isn't it? And they are progressive. He's got another one in here, Cox, isn't he? I think Watcher as well for Jim Crowley on. I thought that was quite interesting. It's just all synthetic form for him, isn't it? He needs to prove it on turf, but this is a good one to have a go at. Roach Power was another one in there that was relatively
That ties in with Gisborne, wasn't it? Roach Power from Leicester.
I think Keels put him up that day. It was interesting they're going back to the well with this. But like I say, this is a very good race, this in the calendar for 3-year-old sprinters. And you can go on some other handicaps, maybe even, you'd be talking about Air Gold Cups, the winners, maybe a Stewards potentially or something like that. So exciting times. Who's a fan of sprint races?
I mainly am, yeah. I probably prefer my favourite. I'm a big middle distance fan. Like next week, a bit sad. My favourite's the Queen's Vase and the King George V.
Is that
I love
right?
those 3-year-olds stepping up, those mile 4, mile 6. But I also like sprints as well. But Estimate, Leading Light. Some really good horses have won that race. So
you should know that, of course, being the #1 fan of the Queen's Vase. We'll give you a shout out.
I've got one
Who's
in it.
Going to win? Oh, here we go.
Aidan O'Brien's won the race 7 times and needs one more to tie with Henry Cecil. So I think he could win it with Newfoundland, or I think he might go or changing of the guard, obviously the Derby. But I think Newfoundland.
Whichever he runs in that, that's it.
And then he's got in the King George V. My big one is Temple of Artemis. He won at Chester last time out. Okay, he looked like he was stopping slightly at the line, but I think he'll be more suited to a stronger galloping track.
Aidan O'Brien's horses in handicaps at Royal Ascot on that round track. Yeah, they have a right go at them, and they're usually group horses, aren't they? Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But I also love the sprints. You can't go wrong with some of those.
A banker of the
week. You love all the racing, Danny, basically.
He loves it.
I don't like milers. I hate milers.
Now we should, of course. You are going to take the trophy home, I think, aren't you?
Am I? Okay.
It looks that way. It looks not necessarily. Not necessarily, because I suppose if you were to win on Gisborne or Showtime Mahomes, then they're on this in the studio.
You'd kick me into touch if that happened. No, Patrick Mahomes, NFL.
That's not good enough. If it was a rugby-based thing, I think
I wouldn't have a clue about NFL. Yeah. Are you an NFL fan then?
No, but I know him. He's the world's best, I think, isn't he? Now Brady's retired.
Yeah.
So
Kansas City Chiefs quarterback. Yeah.
There you go.
Been to the last 3 Super Bowls in Ebor. Yeah.
It's all Dutch to me, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Okay, we are 5 minutes away from this. The Barry is, of course, going for Showtime Mahomes. It's been really well backed. And let's get some more social. Oh, look, this is ridiculous. Tommy Orr. Again, he's agreeing with you, Barry.
we're sinking together, me and Tommy, today.
I'll tell you what. There's a bit of someone. It's got to be a relation, isn't it? Tommy, where are you? Let us know.
Yeah, let reveal yourself. Yeah,
it's probably he's in the kitchen. It's got to be Barry's son, isn't it? Going, let's be with Dad on this one.
They'd know better.
Probably, yeah. Barry, it's been great to have you again this afternoon. We've got one more race to come. We're excited now, aren't we? When do you come over?
Monday morning.
Got some business to do, or?
Yeah, a few bits and pieces. Yeah. I'll be busy out on Monday, recording podcasts and that sort of thing. Yeah, so just like to get there, get myself settled, and I'm not stressing then the day of the first on Tuesday.
Staying in a nice hotel, of course. Are you going on the Greyhound channel? You do our Greyhounds occasionally, don't you?
I did it last Saturday. Yeah, no, I'm not scheduled to do it this week. No, or next week.
You might bump into.
I'm hot footing it there after this. Yeah,
so, it's the quarterfinals of the Derby.
Quarterfinals of the Racing Post Ground TV. Yeah, the Derby.
You've got a tip?
On at 6 p.m. Well, the favourites is very short now, 2-1 for the whole competition. Ballinnabola Ed. But I like Romeo Magico. I think the Irish have got a very strong hand in it this year.
Quelle surprise.
And yes, so I think they've never won the Derby at Towster. So this is their big opportunity, and if they've got a lot of leading lights, and Ballinnabola represents Pat Buckley.
And what time does that kick off later?
6 p.m. Racing Post Greyhound TV gets underway.
Blimey, you're going to have to hot foot it, aren't you?
No,
but it's only just down the road, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So,
there used to be in this studio, of course, the Racing Post Greyhound channel, Clive Lawrence, Tanya Stevenson.
He's the man heading it. Yeah, Tanya's a presenter, yeah. So a bit of racing and Greyhound crossover as well.
A little bit of everything.
Darryl Williams, obviously the stateside man on ATR. So
yeah. He's a great guy, Darryl.
Yeah, the Dazzler. So no, it's we'll
Darrell,
look forward to it. Look forward to it tonight
at Sky. Okay, great stuff. There you go. So a little bit of action for you tonight, and a tip from Danny as well. Right then, we're just waiting for a Race It Down Patrick to go, and then we'll be zooming in.
Homeless songs, banker material or not?
Ooh.
I think Inspiral's got.
She had a little wobble during the week on the exchange.
Really?
She was 7-2 at one stage. Yeah, it looked like something might have happened, but she was declared this morning, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. She's a whoosher, isn't she, Homeless
Yeah,
Sauce?
fantastic.
Serious horse. What price is she, Barry, for the coronation?
She was evens 11-10 the last time I looked at.
We did a piece, I think it was Chris Cook in the week in his front runner email. He was looking at what might go off odds on at the meeting. She's one that could swing that way. That's what I was thinking about there. I'm hearing from the guys in the gallery, if Gisborne wins, Charlie takes the trophy. If Ingra wins, I could win on places, we've worked out.
Count back.
Whoa, a count back. So, all right, there you go. Just to let you know out there. It's up for grabs going into the final race. Ingra Tour for me. I just wonder if he's a bit obvious, Ingra Tour, but I thought he would be shorter than this. I'm looking down. Mick Shannon's had 7 runners in this race, just 1 place as well. So not great. And the only favourite to have won this in the last 10 years was Body and Soul for the Easterbees back in 2013. But the market often gets it right in this. First folio last year. Golden Apollo for the Easterbees. Easterbees have won this 3 times in the last 10 years. And Tony Carroll, who's got a runner in here as well, would catch the eye on that front. He's got Resilience in here as well from stall 13. Fast and Furious, really tricky at York, isn't it, to make up ground in these sprints?
Yeah, it definitely is. One I'd give at a bigger price, Edward Cornelius, 28-1, I think, 25 I'm sure on Betfair, but he was second to Mitt Bahi earlier this season, so obviously the form's been boosted, and then ran okay when 100-1 went behind El Caballo in, I'm guessing, was it the Sandy Lane at Haydock? So
Okay, all right, yeah. So
maybe with that form being boosted.
I mean, you could have a couple of darts here and not get near it, probably, couldn't you? So, but it will be exciting, and let's hope we see something that's going to go and have a go at the big sprinters and the big handicaps, or maybe even step up to group company. There's a decent 3-year-old sprint at the July meeting, isn't there? Very valuable handicap there. I think we often see a group horse in that. Maybe that could be a stepping stone as well. They're going in, I'm thrilled to say. Good luck wherever you're playing. Final race of the day here then. We'll be back with you on Tuesday, of course, for all of Royal Ascot here in the studio. Do not miss it. We've got great talent coming in throughout the week. We'll be getting some tips from all over the country as well. You two are going to do a tip for me after this, aren't you? You're going to stare down the camera. Just 10 seconds, please, no more. And for anyone that's not been watching this show, banker of the week then, Posty. What will the tip
It's Homeless Songs for me, but I mean, yeah.
Solid as a rock.
I'll go Alfred Munnings now. I remember in the Cheshire, I can't see him getting beaten.
Yeah. It's a hot race.
You love a short one, Danny.
Steady, Barry.
I think you did that for Barry, didn't you?
Yeah, I did that for Barry, yeah.
Favourite tips.
Oh, no, I love it.
Well, hang on a minute. You won the Victoria Cup on this show, didn't you?
Just
that
Barry
wasn't a
wants to give
favourite,
me no
was it?
love, does he? You know,
No.
I just don't understand it.
No, don't we? You have to, like I say, you've got to earn your stripes here. It took me a while. I'm not sure I'm even still there.
What about you?
Yeah.
Banker of the week, Bay Bridge would be the banker. Yeah, I think. Next best. What about a lay? Who don't you like? I've got a
I'd be
feeling that
laying...
Caribus might drift a bit. I don't know why. I just think he will. I don't know if he'll get beaten, but I think he might wobble a bit.
Well, in the Gold Cup, I'd be laying, if Trusham was favourite, I don't know whether Kyprios is now, but that would be the big one.
Let's hope Trusham makes the lineup. Goodness me. Scope could be a really good each-way player of the week, I think, in that. I do like Sibla Spain, along with Sam Hart.
Would you be taking Saffron Beach on then?
I am taking Saffron Beach on, yeah. Sibla Spain, I think the French will win the Duke of Cambridge on Wednesday at 4:20. So that could be a big hour for me. Love a French filly in that one. Usherette won it for Godolphin a couple of years ago.
Maybe Golden Palm.
Are we doing all races, Dave, on the channel?
We are doing up to the 5:35, Barry. You'll be thrilled to hear. Do you remember posting?
6 of the 7.
6, yeah. All the terrestrial main channel ITV races we are doing. Glad you got in. Do you remember we did on the Tuesday? You remember
the whole
Barry, as
lot.
well. We did the whole. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that final race was a stretch, wasn't it?
We were ready for a pint, that's
We
for
were
sure.
ready for a pint, and actually it caused us to have a rethink for that week. But yeah, we're going to be with all the main channel races coming your way. I'm thrilled to say they're in them for the last. Good luck wherever you're playing. You might need it. Danny Archer, call them home.
Oh, blimey, you want me to call this one? Okay.
Of course.
20 runners. Right, look.
That's not very nice.
Hey, it's supposed to be Ross Briley. Come on, Ross.
Resilience has started quite well. They're under Molly Phillips, very, very keen early. Also towards the front, Selby's Pride. And on the wide outside, it looks like Lethal Levi is also prominent.
Where's Ingrator?
Amber Dew is also up there.
Ingrator
Where is
midfield,
Ingrator?
midfield.
Being slightly pushed on, but Resilience.
Holmes, yeah.
Resilience and Selby's Pride go on, also making good progress. Is Atomic Lady there for David Allen and Tim Easterby on the outside as well.
Here comes Rob Hornby.
Going quite nicely for Jim Crowley. Ingrator now started to be pushed along.
Cruising.
Coming through.
Oh, don't get a Westover.
No move made yet by Amber Dew. Resilience still up there as well.
Not finding,
also coming through, Leafer Levi. Ingrator looks all over on the outside, on the wide outside.
Anaf is the closer.
Anaf is going well. Admiral D also trying to stay on. Where's Harry
Lucky
Free
man.
trying to get into it as well on the rail? This is in the purple. Gisburn is not struggling.
Yeah.
And then you've got Devast as well staying on. I think it's Harry Free, the lad in front, for Ryan
Blowout.
Moore on this
Stand
inside.
side.
Harry Free goes on ahead of Devast, and Ryan Moore's in the winners here
Harry
at
Free.
York. Harry Free wins in second place. Could be number 9, going to be Devast for second, and then in third, Lucky Man.
Well,
But
he
Harry
was,
Free wins.
he was beaten by Ingrator when they met on the Classic weekend. Ingrator has absolutely flopped after that 42-day break, Barry, and this has flashed home. Clive Cox has got another one.
Yeah, he really has. And Ryan Moore only went up there for 2 rides today, so he's done well there. Lucky Man, was he second or third? He traded at a low of evens. The Vast was in there as well. He traded at a low of 4. Showtime Mahomes and Ingrid Thorne couldn't raise their challenge at all. But the Vast is there, so I don't understand how Showtime Mahomes has ran so poor.
No, and Ingrator as well. They just didn't turn up, did they? I don't think it could be a York thing. I'm looking for how many rides Ryan's had for Clive Cox. That was his 10th winner from 29 rides for a healthy level stakes profit. And we're watching it back now. Again, he's come right down that stands rail, isn't he? Do you think that had any bearing on his finishing splits? Because he's flashed, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. I mean, it must have done. You thought on the far side they were going better, but Ryan brought him across to the rail, got a bit of cover there after being quite keen early, and a nice ride. But Devast, I think we touched upon before for Terry Kent. He's an interesting sprinter going forward and definitely one to watch. But,
anything to take from the race, Poste, apart from
Gisburn was flat, wasn't it?
Gisburn was. I mean, bearing in mind the form with Devast there recently, but it never raised the gallop at all. I mean. I think this is all about Harry 3 really. I mean, he looked a sprinter on the up very much.
Got some lovely cover there, hasn't he, look, Ryan? And we're just watching the split now, 2 finals out. We want to watch this back. Sometimes we sign off, especially when they flopped, like the panel did there. But this is absolute going places, this chap, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, when he picks up from here, it is very impressive.
Whoosh. Yeah, and Devast is there. That was the key horse, wasn't it? Anaf on the far side, still one that's just tricky. Just maybe he's caught between 6 and 7. Lucky Man's run really well. All right, well done. If you kept the faith then, we saw him win on Guineas weekend. That's it. All the action this afternoon on Racing Post Live. Done and dusted, Barry Orr. Great to have you, Barry. One of those more subdued afternoons, but some great Royal Ascot chat. We're getting excited from this point on.
Yeah, can't wait. Looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday or Thursday, Dave. Yeah, for 3 days. So that'll be fun. Thanks, lads. Thanks, Charlie, for looking after that today. And well done. Well done to you all for your commentaries.
You were going to say well done for finding the favourites to Danny, weren't you? I could see
his eyes lit
I could see you was thinking about it. Great, Barry.
Danny's commentaries were very, very good.
They were. See, look, the love's there. The love's there. Safe flight, Barry, then. Can't wait to see you back in this studio. Absolutely cannot wait for that. Danny, great stuff today.
Thanks,
Good
Dave.
luck tonight on the Greyhound channel.
Yeah, thank you very much. 6 p.m. Hot footing it over to London Bridge shortly.
I'm very disappointed to say you're going to have to hand that to me. Apparently, Katura's placing in the Scurry Stakes means that this is coming home. I've got it. I'm thrilled. Highlights all the way, as it always is working with our brother from another mother, Charlie Poste.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, well done to you. The spoils for you. To the victor, the spoils today.
A bit of dinner tonight, feet up, is it?
Of course, yeah.
All right, great stuff. Great to have you watching as well. Thanks to the guys in the gallery. Thanks to Louis for doing the social as well. Thanks to all the guys at Betfair. What a week it is in store. Every single day then. Royal Ascot here. Don't miss it. 2 p.m. on Tuesday.